Tune into Femme Queen Crazy Sexy Cool, where we have the legend, the model, the incomparable Leyna Bloom. We got the girls in the house tonight. What's up? Welcome back to the second season of Femme Queen Crazy
Sexy.
Cool.
What's up, ladies?
What's up?
We about to, can we do it? Can we? Y'all know I had to go to the liquor because my girl Eve made me a fab drink and she shook it up and everything for
you
me.
See, I got mine.
Honestly and truly, I told myself that I really wasn't gonna like cocktail anymore.
After your
but
shot.
I will do this since we started off. I'm all about brain health these days.
Yes.
Oh my God, talk about it. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, like you know. But like, yes, to us being back, I missed y'all.
I missed y'all too.
No shade. It was I missed this whole vibe. I love this.
I've been wanting to talk, bitch.
I've
I've been having shit to say, bitch, and Facebook is getting diet. I think they changed my algorithm. You won't be having a lot of people talking to me once they start paying me. You know.
Oh yeah, once you
Can I say that? Can we say that?
Once you put that little like
once you get that little meta thing,
little stars in the meta,
you don't get no more interaction.
They give every go ahead, girl.
Yes.
They've been prompting me to do it. I'm like, no, ma'am.
I did it. Bitch, you be giving like $10 a year, $15 a year.
Oh, you gotta pay $10?
No, that's how much I make, bitch.
$10 a year?
No, not a year. No, it's like a month
make
or
less
I
than
think
that
it's like
on
a month or
OnlyFans.
something like that.
Depending
That's
on if they
cute.
got mad subscriptions.
OnlyFans.
No, I'm just saying. She was like, "Oh, that's all they're giving for the year." I'm like, "Girl, what? They make less than that on OnlyFans unless they got a good following."
Bitch, if you making less than that on OnlyFans, give it up.
It's time to leave it alone.
It's time to leave it
I
out.
wouldn't know.
You ain't got what
That's
they
the
want.
wrong
The
business.
people don't want to see you.
I'm not
That's the wrong
shaming
business for you,
OnlyFans
babe.
content.
But if you making $5 on OnlyFans, bitch,
A year.
try something
but
else.
maybe not a year, but some of them is like 4. How would I know? I'm sorry.
Did you ever?
A
Is you
come
that
up is a
mask?
come up. A
Is you
come
that one that
up.
be wearing a mask?
That's her. That's her. She's met 12
She
years.
don't- That's Tabby.
12 years. Oh, yeah.
That's Tabby with the
12
mask. on.
years.
We actually made 13 this year, so we
13.
Yeah, we going up. We going up, boo. We going up.
Yes.
Happy anniversary. Happy birthday.
Happy belated birthday, sister.
Thank you.
Happy belated.
Yes.
This is the big one.
It was the big one, the big 5-0. But do I look like it?
You look
Doesn't
amazing.
matter. You're blessed to see the golden age of 50. I can't believe that I actually am a half a century old.
That's
Like
amazing.
it doesn't
You look
feel
amazing.
that way.
You look amazing in your
Thank
wise.
It's all about how you
It's
feel.
so
Your
you come
wise.
on with the cat suit
Thank
and everything. You feel like the cat.
I'm a meow.
Come on, Tempress. Let me
Thank
get the
you.
I think we.
coming
no.
to America.
I think that a lot. I think that a lot of times that we focus on the outer. Like I'm reading a book that explains to you like the power of now. Like focusing on your inner soul and not like the outer, and like just really being in tune with that, and then you won't be so focused on like aging or your body. Like you won't feel like there's not an aging process with that, because that should be the same.
I
Like, so
totally
I
agree.
love that.
I think that for me, that's where I'm at in my journey now, like working on the internal self. Like I'm starting, I guess, like when you get, and I don't want to say that because it sounds cliche, like when you get older, you just tend to it's not that you don't care. It's just that things that you saw that were so important, like the superficial things, it just doesn't even matter anymore. Like I've seen some things, I've survived some things. And flaws and all, I love me in every part of me. the quirkiness, the bad days when the bags is coming, when I'm rushing to school and my hair ain't braided or done the right way, I still show up because I think I lived enough and I deserve that.
Yeah, we be trapped in like they talk about hell or something else, but like, you know, through life, a lot of times you're trapped in this hell of caring what other people think about you. Like, you know, of trying to please other people instead of yourself. And I think that wisdom comes with that. And you realize that like you're living your next life, like your next year's intentional. It's like, bitch, I'm about to live, bitch. I don't care what nobody else thinks. Like, you know, you can't be like held captured to that. Like,
Because
really.
you're held, like, as you're growing up and the things that we take in our adolescent and our youth, we're kind of shaped to the way, like, society have these structures on how we should show up. And for me, for the next leg of my life, I just don't care. Like, I've gave y'all what y'all needed. Now I'm going to give me what I need.
I'm at that point as far as aging wise, like not caring about age. I guess it's more so of knowing where you're at in life and if you're reaching your goals. I think that has to do with the age for me, was just realizing, damn, I'm getting this age. I wish I would have had these things already accomplished. But what I realize is that no matter where you are in life, it just some things happen differently for others. Like, and it takes its time, and that's also okay.
But
yes, you got to give yourself grace, honey.
Yeah.
It's like it's your book, it's your story.
Yeah,
You're writing
sure.
it. You
It's
write
not no
however
one
you
else's.
want. Like,
Yeah.
you
and
know.
we say these little things like control your narrative and things like that. It really is your narrative.
It is.
It really is how you show up in the world. And I'm just at the point where it's not that I don't give a fuck, but I'm just not into people pleasing anymore. Because you tend to forget the liberties that you feel freedom in and you like to have fun in. And like, I'm just not interested in doing that anymore. I'm not conforming to who you need me to be for you to feel comfortable with the narrative that you have of me. Like the book we were talking about, The Fifth Agreements, and there's a chapter where he says, like, if I go to a movie and it's my movie, I'm the main character. I control everything that happens in my movie. If I paid my money to go to Tempress or your movie, you're the main characters. And I may not be the same role in your movie.
I'm
that I
always the
am in
main
my movie.
character.
You are the main
Shout out to
to
Gia.
Gia.
Okay,
The main
Shout out to
character.
Gia, okay.
Yes.
That's a big testament for me, especially growing where I'm at, like growing up from where I come from, accomplishing the things that I did. I started to give myself grace, and I started to realize that I'm doing my big one at where I'm at right now, at my age and where I'm at. Like, I'm doing amazing, and that's when I started reading reading the Fifth Agreement, where what's the book You Are Now, Where Are You Now? What is it called?
The Power of Now.
Yeah, The Power of Now. That book really was cute for me. It was quick though, but it was cute.
And speaking of
I like
the
long
power,
books. I love a long book.
Really?
Yeah.
speaking of the power of now, come on, Cats Reimagined.
Oh, the cat is off the bag.
Oh my God.
Finally. I don't know, like, bitch, what is it? Weeks and weeks, we was like, well, you can't say anything, but yes, I am your Grisabella. And Cats Reimagined. So you guys check us out at the Pack Theater. That is June 14th through July 14th. Tickets are now on sale. Get the tickets.
I will be there. We're all going to be there supporting our
Thank
sister.
you.
About to drop in and
I
pull a
appreciate it.
drive-through.
I appreciate it. It's like, for me, it's like, it's something that I really manifested. It's something that really, tell me never give up on your dreams and goals. Like, it doesn't really care. Like you said, when you were saying, sometimes we measure our life by the goals that we accomplished, that we had in our head set for certain things. But a lot of times you ain't ready for that. Like, I realized there was things that I wanted for so long, but if I would have got them, would I have been successful at them? Because I wasn't ready. There was things that I really needed to give up. There was things that I really needed to do to sustain this or to, like, you know what I'm saying? I just wouldn't have been in a position to do it. And I feel like now that I've learned those lessons, it's giving.
You ready?
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
I'm ready, like,
I can't wait to see it on stage. It's going to be beautiful. Me too.
I'm
excited.
so excited. We get to hear her sing.
Yes.
But the people will get to hear your God-given gift. And
It
I'm
was like-
so excited for that.
Yeah.
I was like, it was so funny when I moved back, and I've told my friends, I was like, when I get back to New York this time, and like, there was things that I should have been doing, like, to go harder, but like I said, things needed to line up. But I was like, if someone gives me the opportunity to get in a room and to act and sing bitch, I'm gonna show out. Like, I was like, I pictured it. I was like, I would be like, and it was so that in my audition, I broke out crying at the end of the song because I was really feeling it.
That
It
won
was
you
like,
over.
I was
That won you
picturing-
over. That was the win.
Yeah.
She got the role.
It was like,
That
you
was the
got
role.
it.
I was picturing,
Oh,
I was so
she
in
got it.
character that I was picturing, and then I was hearing myself say, if they give me the opportunity,
I'm going
like
to go
I'm about
for
to
it.
go like
I know the
hard.
other
And so
contestants were over it when she started crying.
Yeah.
they wasn't in there, but the people.
You only got one shot.
You
to
got
take
one
it.
shot.
She took
Yeah. Opportunity comes once in the
That was
lifetime.
the LeBron James, honey. That was the LeBron James.
Hey, that was that moment. I'm so glad you did it though.
Thank you.
because I think that the season of us like being in the shadows, doing the work behind the scene, influence like modern culture, we need to come to the forefront and we need to let our talent show. And I'm fortunate enough that I get to like pull from you and hear that and let me, like you have this strict regimen now. Like, she turns her phone off because I normally call her in the morning for like that.
I don't want to talk.
She don't want to talk. She's like, I'm on my way to rehearsal.
no, it's like, our rehearsal is motivated. Like, I have to, like, meditate. Like, I realize, sometimes I would be just sitting on the phone talking to, not you, because our conversations are amazing or whatever, and they're inspiring. No, I'm saying our conversations
pour
were that,
into
like,
each other.
you're motivational. You have things going on. You know what I'm saying? So it's like pouring into each other. But when you sit on the phone with, people who really don't have anything going on at the time, then it's like, what are you getting out of that? What are you learning from those conversations? And I realized that I want to be quiet in the morning time. Like, I want to stretch. I want to listen to something motivational to get my day started. Like, I just want to, like, I'm up to maybe 2 days in the gym. I want to try to get 3, but I'm trying to. I ain't there yet, but I am. There are certain things that I'm definitely working on. And with this is Ballroom Reimagined. So a lot of times we have shows that are about ballroom, but ballroom people are not in it. And I love the fact that you have Arturo, who is a choreographer, Amari. You have some people in ballroom that are actually Broadway, but they are in ballroom. So, like,
Shouts
we are
to
really
Omi.
representing and their Omi.
Nice.
You have
Shouts to
Junior.
Omi.
Like, oh my God. Like,
Junior.
my interaction with Junior, like the other day after he heard me come out of singing in rehearsal, like he had me crying. Like, I was like, it was just to hear from these people who came before you, who like crawled so that we could walk. Like, I still fangirl. Like, I still like become like this little girl when I get around those presents. Like, for those people that I looked up to and that came before us.
I'm the same. When I get around like the icons and the people that I always looked up to, I'm always a little girl. Like, I always feel like a little girl.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm a
And
seasoned
you
bitch.
going to Tokyo. What's up with that?
Yes, I'm excited.
Tokyo, yes.
You
I'm
say,
so
where you
excited.
going?
Tokyo.
What you doing out there? You giving a little class or something?
Teaching a class, and I will be doing I'm doing 2 to 3 workshops, so I'm excited for that. It's my first time, so I'm a little nervous, with
got
everything
this,
that's going on in the world. I'm like, is this the best time to travel? But, I'm with God, so yes,
Say it. There you go. Manifest it.
Yeah.
It's going to be
Yeah.
great.
We
You're
all
a
doing our
great
big
person.
one.
Yes.
We all doing our big one. It's just amazing. That's amazing.
Let me tell you something. Every time I think about the things that we wasted so much time on, like those insignificant things that we felt were so crucial and so pivotal to who we are, like I'm learning, like do the things that matter and impactful, not just for yourself. And that's the thing that I'm learning, like that collective healing, that collective movement type thing. So that's huge for me. One of the hugest things for me was having the Bronx Borough president raise the trans flag.
Yeah.
That was amazing to me, historically done. We're the first one in the nation to do that, so I want to shout that out here. And it started over a conversation, just a regular conversation with the chief of staff and the director of media, and we just like said, well, why haven't we had it? And boom. And sometimes it just takes that, like you went in there in that audition, you said, I'm gonna give it my all. You did it. You've been dancing for so long, and people are moved by you. We've had the last season, we had people come on and said they were inspired by you.
Ooh.
So when you go out there in Tokyo, do your big one.
I already know. I'm
Let's
capping.
go.
You know, I'm leaving my mark.
Do
I'm
your
leaving a
big
mark.
one.
I'm leaving my mark.
And I'll come
baby.
and do my little Mary, you know. I'll come out here and do
She's
it.
Mary out.
I am
That's
not. But yeah.
Question. Did you play sports when you was in
I did.
You did?
I did.
You
I
played
played
sports?
soccer. I played basketball.
Did you play sports?
I was on the swim team. I am like a lifeguard, but it's just this one girl I want to get my lick back at, Leyna. She used to beat me, and at 200 IM, and I would be out of breath. But yes, I played.
Are you talking about from like 35 years ago?
Oh,
Bitch, are you still holding on to that?
I just want her. Like, I don't think I could get her again. Like, I'm a little bit older, but back then, oh my God, she would jump in the water and be like a fish. And I'll be looking at her
Well, let's
while
send her a shout out. What's her name?
Shout
Tabytha
out
has
to- shout out
PTSD
to
from you.
Leyna.
Honey. She wants you. She's coming to get you.
And no, I think we're a little bit aged out, but I'm still
The Bronx
associated
River.
with them. No, actually, we have like a whole Facebook group of us who used to be on the swim team together. We still
That's
connect. that way.
dope. That's dope.
Yeah.
That's what's up. So I said that because what do y'all think about trans athletes? Like trans, like, you know, you like period, like transgender people competing in sports, like in school, Olympics, and
Don't look at me because you know I'm ready to go. Don't do
We
that.
want to hear what you want to say.
I'm saying we all have different perspectives, but you know, well, y'all always look for me when it's like this political shit.
No, bitch,
No.
we all
But-
gonna talk
no, we
about
all
it.
gonna
But here's
talk
the
about
thing,
it.
but what are your thoughts on that? What do you honestly think? I'm gonna just
She
throw it
turned
back
around.
at you. Yeah.
Giving-
It's giving hot.
So at
We're playing
fir-
past
at-
the potato again.
At first, I was big on this is ridiculous. Like I don't think they should be able to do that. I think it should be separate. But then I thought about I think it is important for trans women. Now, as far as non-binary, I think that is when the lines are blurred. But I think trans women, and I'm talking about the ones that, you know, from what I see as trans women. I'm not saying that you have to be trans woman in my eyes, but just saying as for a fulfilled trans woman should be okay to be an athlete. I don't think nothing wrong with that. I really don't.
It's so funny that you say trans women because we always forget about the trans men in the conversation because they don't feel like that they're a threat because they was
Exactly.
naturally born a woman. So a lot of times it focuses on trans women, but I'm talking about trans people, period.
Well, I'm trans.
Right.
I'm a trans woman, so I'm only speaking.
And that's
of,
how I feel. I think that overall, this is a target on women, period, right? As you see, like legislation that keeps passing is attacking our trans youth. But also, you see, like when they start to remove reproductive rights and when they start to do things like that, it's an attack. And we need to be very aware that kids just want to have fun. Like I said earlier, Leyna was a biological, autonomically correct female, right? And she would wipe the floor with me in sports, right? And all I wanted to do was to have access, to have fun. And sports play a major part of the development, the confidence of individuals and youth. I definitely don't think that, you know, we should be trying to separate based on gender. These are kids. Let them have fun. And I just think that it's wrong. I think that, you know, these are legislations that are being moved to actually set up systems of patriarchy where women are second class. And as you said earlier, right, they're targeting the women, not the men, because they don't feel threatened by them. Why is the male patriarch in these systems of sports that are predominantly male dominated don't create enough space for women? As you see, even with women, they're saying women in sports are not paid the same. You know, you don't get a highlight of the WNBA. All of a sudden, this whole redirection of attention that's centered around trans women in sports is just nonsense.
I think it has to do with money, though. I think it all has to do with money. Like, if people were actually coming to see women play basketball, then they would get paid more money. And I'm not saying that's their fault. It's not. But when you go to when you go to see basketball players play, especially women, I used to love it, but I used to notice that it wasn't as packed. or even
So
on
here's
television
the
as the
thing, right?
same. It wasn't.
And we gotta understand that each individual has different abilities. Like when you play soccer, you put the tallest people in certain spaces, right? So when we're talking about sports, your agility and your strength is something that you have. Certain people, like everyone has a different skill set that makes them formidable for a team or to play in sports. You can't. So you're seeing a transmasculine person and you don't feel threatened because you think that they don't have the endurance. But then when you think about our swimmers like Skylar Baylor, and I don't know if I'm saying your name correctly, Skylar, so don't butcher me. But like, and these other people who are prominently known, and now with the NCAA like rolling back protections for trans people in sports, it's gross. It's
Yeah,
gross.
see, I'm not here for discrimination against marginalized communities anyway, but and also I don't feel like gender roles are like one size fits all.
Right.
So I do, however, feel that you should be at a certain point in your transition because I mean, it is factual that, you know, a genetic man, a person born a person born male versus born female, muscle mass is going to be different, correct? Like there's going to be slightly different. So I just think that it depends on like the sport. However, like you said, when it comes to youth, I do think that there are opportunities that are missed if they are banned from sports, like scholarships, like that could play on a person's mental health. Like there's just a lot of things that they would miss opportunities. So I think that maybe there should be a special like sports, like trans sports, maybe. Or I think that there should be a measurement of like, if it comes to trans women, like testosterone levels or something, or hormone, like, estrogen levels and stuff.
Are
I
we
just think
talking
that,
about kids?
well, I'm talking about whoever, like, do sport. I mean, because we've seen, like, let's not be real. We have seen where it's like, okay, this is a trans woman, and you could tell that this person, and like, even the one person who, like, just was on the male team, and now all of a sudden they on the women team, and now they've been winning, and you can tell that they decided, like, well, I can't say when they decided, but it's giving.
But see, that also feeds into the propaganda that trans people would just be trans so they can have a win in life. And they pick like something that they. I think that no, but it's not.
people-
It's not.
That could
I
be
don't-
But
true.
whose
saying-
narrative is that, and who gets to say that?
Yeah, I don't think that that's
personally
true. Of course, I don't think everything is
I
true.
don't think
personally
everyone- it can be-
I
both could
personally
be
think that these
true.
are just
There could be
tactics
people
to
that are
distract
doing
us
that.
and attack. And these whole.
So if you
like,
had a daughter, and you had a daughter, and then your daughter was on this team, and she was up for, this scholarship. She was like number one, like in this sport, and this genetically born male, like at first, they were on another team, and then they decided, oh, I'm a woman, and they decided that they wanted to be on this team tomorrow, and like just because they started putting on hair or whatever, you think it's fair for them to go against?
I mean, I would say like obviously someone, and my limited understanding of gender as it pertains to the whole construct and how we are able to be ourselves. If a person is on hormonal therapy or HRT, that is definitely, we know that there's a whole process of chemical castration, your muscle mass starts to break down, all those things happen. I think that there should be some type of limitations, but I do not think that trans people should be banned from
No,
sports
I don't think
and
they should be
industry.
banned either. I
Because
said it
like I
depends
said,
on where you're at in your
And
transition.
if it was
for me.
my daughter,
you think it should be separated?
if it was my daughter and she, battles someone, like I said, I know from firsthand experience, gender has nothing to do with ability.
What if she was a wrestler and it was like?
girl?
I'm just saying.
Why
So do you
you
think
doing
it-
I'm just saying. No,
Do you think
I'm
it should be
asking the
separate?
questions that people
I
have.
do not think it should be separate. I think that when you do that and you isolate trans people, that you don't give us the formidable skills to acclimate to how real world shows up and real life issues. And sports build confidence. It builds like all these different types of institutions that we have innate in ourselves. If they like, this is what keeps us at a disadvantage right now. Why do we have to fight for things that is inherently ours? Because we keep subscribing to these things that tell us we shouldn't do that because of this and because of that. And who says that? Why
Well,
does sports itself have to be gender specific?
Well, that's a whole
about
nother,
that?
that's a different top. That's
I
like,
mean, you know, I
that's a
don't know. I'm
big-
just saying.
Why do we
I
even
just
have to
think it
have a
was different-
gender for sports? I lost to a female.
Because
I wouldn't be like,
Men-
well, now I would wrestle her and take her down, but she might take
what was
me
the
down.
sport? This was swimming.
It was swimming, but when
Yes,
you say wrestling, like,
Yeah,
I don't
like
think I have that
self-defense.
strength anymore.
Right.
But I'm just saying, like, I just think that it's just like a conversation that is also illicit of distracting us from the goal that policy is playing on removing protection.
I think what everyone is missing, how do cis women feel that we're competing in their sports? I think no one even considers their feelings.
And you might be
But
right.
the thing is that a lot of athletes are accepting of it.
And there are now athletes coming forward against the ban on trans.
Yeah, they
people and
are.
saying
So I love that.
they deserve the right to access. Like I said, all jokes aside, like I remember my first fight. And my first fight was with this girl, and she mopped the floor with me, pulled the patch of hair, and I thought I was going to beat her up. And she wore me out in front of my mother. So,
See, I used to fight girls, and when I think back of it, I'm like, why did I do that? But in my head, I was feeling like I was a girl.
She
But
wore
my mother
me
used to be like, why are you
out.
fighting these girls? But they ain't have no win on me, and I feel like,
but
Like,
to
I
be
felt
clear,
like
she
at the
got beat
time-
up by my cousin Dana after, but you know.
like now it's some girls like now I'm in my transition. I'm like, girl, I'm good. I want to smoke. Like you see some
Yeah,
of
I
these
don't be
girls
trying to fight
But
at
before
all.
I wouldn't, and like like earlier on, especially as transition, I didn't want to fight. Like no girl, I don't want to fight anyway. I don't condone violence, but like I would like just read like. With a girl like, yeah, I'm not gonna fight you, girl. You're not gonna do that. Like you
Yeah, we not doing
so,
that.
like-
I'm not becoming violent with anyone.
Yeah, I don't
Because
wanna,
I lived a
No, you just
history
said that
of
you-
that. No, I lived a
Girl, you
history
say
of
you wear
that.
your sneakers because you be
Yeah,
prepared.
she be prepared.
Listen, I'm just saying, I'm still working on some rough edges around, I'm still rough around the edges, like a little time girl-ish. But it's different, right? Like I grew up in an environment that was prone to violence. You see what I'm saying? So I had to be violent. I had to protect myself. Now I create space where I go, where I'm safe, and I don't have to show up in that way. So it's something that you said about, well, when you say that, you kind of manifest that type of energy to you. So when I move in spaces, it's not that I come in and I feel like I own the space. I'll make sure that I take up space. You're going to know, don't play with me. I'm going to be respectful. We're going to have fun, and we're going to be about peace. And if not, I know how to leave. And when we're talking about sports, I'm not going to play a sport that I haven't first, number one, physically trained for, and I'm able to do it. And you have to understand that more often than not, these kids are in training to develop them for the sports that they play.
I agree. I mean, that's it's a
We can
difficult
move on from
topic.
that topic.
But
Yeah,
I'm at the point
because-
in life too, and where I wasn't before. Before it was like, I'm a woman. You know what I'm saying? I was born to like, this is like what I was born. Blah. And I'm starting really to learn to embrace that I'm a trans woman, and that's okay.
It is
like,
okay.
That took
that
me a
is,
very
I'm a
long
woman of a
time.
trans experience, and maybe the
That
reason
took me
that
a
because
very long time.
I kind of was going through life feeling like I wasn't enough because of the trans woman, like because I wasn't embracing being a trans woman, trying to, like I don't know. It's just I
And
had
here's the
that
thing, it's
epiphany the
something
other
that you
day. It was
said-
like, you are who you are. You are enough at who you are. I'm too spirited, like whatever you want
It's
to call
crazy that
it.
it's crazy
Like,
that you say all of this because growing up, I like especially right now. Sometimes I think I was talking to my friend. Sometimes I think about us being back DL when the girls were not really. You didn't really know what was going on, and sometimes I miss that. Sometimes I miss just being regular. Like I feel like sometimes we always have to play a role. Like I always have to say.
So-
You always have to say, oh, trans this or trans, even sports. I'm pretty sure they were trans women in sports, they just weren't
This is
talking
why
about
I
it.
say
And that's
that.
why I enjoy that. I enjoy you. If you can do it, do it.
Here's the
Or
thing, right?
everything else, to me, it starts to make me feel uncomfortable. So I just don't even indulge in conversations because it has nothing to do with me.
See, and here's the thing, right? Even for me in the role of my activism and being the advocate, at times I just want to walk into a room and not have to have my transness go before me. Right? I be so tired of talking about trans, but I also have learned to accept that that's who I am. I was born trans. The world told me I couldn't exist. But even if you have any type of faith and if you read the word of God, like I do, it specifically talks about the eunuchs, and it clearly says some were born that way. I believe that we're born who we are. We have access to this world.
So the
just like
eunuchs were
everyone
trans
else.
people?
Huh?
So what? Eunuchs
Eunuchs
were trans
are
people?
like a depiction of trans people. It's someone who was castrated.
A spirit,
or-
it was spirit people.
Right,
Spirit
right.
people.
And we were healers. And then when you travel outside of like the colonized westernized way of how we see things in this civilization, like I went to Hawaii, I've been to Tobago, they don't look at that. You know, you would definitely have to disclose that. I was able to access space without having to say, oh, hi, my name is she and her. Right? And I just, I'm more comfortable like that, but I have no problem making sure that people know that I'm trans, right? Because I spent so many years of my life wanting to say, oh, I'm a woman, I'm a woman, I'm a woman, I'm a woman. I'm happy with who I am today. I am a woman.
Well, why does that have to be a topic of conversation? Like, why does it who I am?
Because the world tells us to.
Yeah.
No, but that is why
It's
you in
another
my
construct.
business. It's so.
I don't
It's just
know,
like I
it's
feel like
kinda
people are always
liberating
in
for
someone
me
else's
now.
business. It don't matter
It
who I'm
is
fucking.
liberating.
It don't
You
matter
can
who I
stand in who you
am.
are. Like we made a
I
whole
know people
video
who
saying,
go
I'm
through-
a femme queen.
Yes.
Because that's different. That's confidence. That's just being a
They're
bad
going to Google that and
bitch.
see that. It's on YouTube
That's your
forever.
business, but that's just being
I
a
think a
bad
lot of
bitch.
times, too, it
A femme
depends on
queen
where
is
you
just
are in
putting
life.
on a black beautiful dress and saying, "Bitch, I'm bad. I feel amazing." Talking every 5 minutes, I have to
divine
explain
femininity.
about what trans is. I don't.
Oh,
even,
no.
What is, like? I'm also black. I'm black trans. Like, what do we need?
Go.
Like, what do we
It's
need
so
to
many
talk
other
like?
facets of who I am, and it's not just my trans.
And I
I'm a
love, like,
wife,
don't get it wrong,
I'm
I
a
love
mother.
being trans, but it's the fact
Yeah.
that, like, do I need to have a conversation about it?
I
What do you
think it-
love about being trans?
Because I think I'm special. I think I have powers. I think I'm magical.
Well, then,
We are
bitch.
magical.
I don't need to, but I also don't need to have that. Like, do we have to explain? Like, I don't have to explain who I am. You know who I am. Like, you know who I am when I walk in the
Right.
door. Like, I don't need to explain that in conversation.
Oh, yeah.
And I think inherently,
And if you
like,
don't know, that's none of your business either.
right. I get
That's how
that.
I feel.
You're absolutely right. Your scribe status is something that you were born into, and you can't help.
Yeah, I felt like I was just who I would grow up like this.
I think a lot of it too has to do with where you are in life. You know, like how you were saying, like, you know, as far as having problem with age, like besides the fact of ageism and stuff, but you know, age and a lot of things. I think it's like how you feel about you, period. Like, you know, where you are in life and the things that you want to do. I think sometimes we, you know, focus on certain things and it's really a bigger picture. You know,
Girl, and
like,
it should never come into play because you date who you date, you like who you like, and some people, like, I used to struggle with that conversation when girls would say, "I don't have to tell him unless we get into second base or third base."
No, I don't.
but then
I
what
don't agree
about
with
section?
that.
But then I have
don't
people.
agree
Then I
with
know
that.
people who.
Uh-uh.
But I know people who, like, you know, who have, you know, had the full surgery, you know, and they don't, you know, tell or whatever, and they, you know, they battled. Like, I think they, you know, they may not say it, but I think that that probably becomes a struggle, like like especially now. Before, maybe not, because it wasn't so open about everything, but I think that now, because it's such a topic or whatever, so you're hiding, like you have to like make up your story from younger. You have to, like, you know what I'm saying?
Who
Like,
wants to live like that?
I know, as like people
I'm just
do
saying,
now.
as
I be
some-
feeling
as
like
a
it's some
sex
girls that
change-
really wanna live
so
like
here's the
that.
thing.
They do.
But-
Some girls live like
Yes,
that.
I
here's
know-
the thing,
I
and
know a
think
girl
that
that
I think
date.
that's perfect.
Girl.
I'm married, so
Are they really
and I said that
happy?
last, and that's the
they
thing.
be happy.
That's the thing. Like, you have to create this whole narrative of who you are in order to pass the mustard, so he won't know who you are. And someone who is a sex change, I am confident in my body. And you never see me have made like those transmission stories because it was personal for me. It wasn't for my husband. It wasn't for my kids. It wasn't for society. It was my personal journey. But I know that my journey to my womanhood is different than every other woman's journey to their womanhood. And it doesn't make me any less than who they are. I am a woman. I don't have to create this false narrative to live up to society's standards on what a woman is. And I think that people who do that, they may appear to be happy, but they're very single and they're very unhappy because the ones that I know are single and unhappy.
Oh.
The trans, I know the sex
my
change
God.
girls that I know, they are like, they doing their big one. The girls that I know, they're really,
I know
they're
some
happy.
who are not.
I do know some ones that are not happy, but I also feel like
I
they're
think
just
it
not
becomes a
like you
challenge.
said, they're just not happy people. Like they're just not.
I think it's
personally happy.
internal, right? Because then people would say things like, "Oh, well, they had their sex change and they're not happy." No, they weren't happy before the sex change. The sex change didn't have nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I think that some people do it and feel like that's gonna change, like that's gonna just change everything
It doesn't.
about, or whatever.
Well,
and I
who
think
you
that you have to
are.
make sure that everything, your mind, your everything is, correct before going into.
Tell you something. My husband ain't complaining, and I'm very happy with my body.
We don't want to know about that.
I'm just saying what I'm saying.
Don't want to visualize that.
You don't have. Well, then you know him,
Please.
so it might be difficult. But again, I'm just saying, like, I think these are all societal norms that we subscribe to, and we let them place us in this box. That's why I always say that gender is a spectrum, and people need to just be who they are and live life. And I'm a human first.
Absolutely.
And the first thing you see when you see me is my blackness. So there's so many different things that make up
They
who
don't like
Tabytha
us.
is
No.
without just being trans. But for the sake of conversation, what was the other thing you was asking us about sleeping with people? Who was
Oh no,
homosexual?
Colorism. She's talking about.
Sleep it, what?
You remember that? I think you talked to me about that. You don't want to talk about that.
Oh no, she's talking about colorism.
Oh, you
Wait,
was
she
talking
wanna
about
get jailed.
colorism? No, we.
Oh, she's talking about, because she was trying to talk about, what's that? I think
Oh,
that's
it's-
next week.
Oh, is it? 'Cause
Yeah,
I
no,
was
no.
gonna say, girl, that is going to be a
Yeah,
conversation,
so
baby.
that
I need
is
to
on
move
top
my mic
of
closer. The producers are saying, "Move your mic." Can you hear me now?
on top of everything else, yes, then that has been a big topic lately. Colorism. I see a lot of times, like on different platforms, people talking about colorism. Even when you watch reality shows and stuff, there's a lot of colorism going on. I hate having the conversation of colorism when I'm talking about colorism in a situation and a light-skinned person says, I experience colorism too. You don't experience colorism because that's not the definition of colorism. You may have experienced prejudiceness or something like that, or racism was outside of your race or whatever, but colorism is specifically dark. Like it's lighter, getting more privilege, having more privilege than a dark-skinned person. And me being a dark-skinned person, I have definitely experienced colorism. I definitely see it. I myself even coming up, because I was the darker one in the family on my father's side, I kind of felt like the black sheep of the family. I kind of felt like, they felt like I may not have been as good looking. I mean, it might have been an internal thing. I don't know. My mom made me feel like extra confident or whatever. But when I started even like dating and stuff, guys would be like, "Oh, you're so pretty to be dark skinned. Oh, you're a pretty dark skinned girl. Oh, I've never dated a dark skinned girl before." Like I always was made to be the exception of the rule for a long time, especially in the South. Especially in Atlanta, baby. Them boys would be like, "Oh, I never dated a dark skinned girl. Oh my God, you're so pretty, dark skinned." I'm like, bitch. Pretty. Fuck you be to be. Like, so, and like in Ballroom, they do it too. Like, I just feel like they give like the dark skinned kids a harder way to go. It's like, even it'll be something simple. Like the lighter, there's a privilege with being light skinned. There's a privilege even in Ballroom, even like outside races are praised more. They'll come and be like, kitty, kitty, cat, cat, cat. They be like, yes! I'm like, bitch, that child just broke her back, but you ain't see it for her. Now you like somebody
that's
else.
different.
Yeah,
that
it
means
is
you don't
different.
That means your shit ain't really selling. Homegirl, she did that 1 and 2, and she just looked bad.
No,
know,
bitch,
because
that's
I
not
think-
true. There's a
No,
privilege.
because
They
wait a
give
minute.
like white
It
privilege and stuff in
I was
ballroom and
getting
stuff
ready
too.
to
Shop. It
say,
don't even be.
because
hate when
even
it-
in the
I hate when they
realness
come for the soft
category, because I
girls.
remember there was one time, and I got my everlasting life, shouts to Rima, when she was like, I broke down. Because our DNA, like we're set up different as darker girls, and a lot of times it's
Like
no.
what?
Honestly, we are set up different. In
Like
a
how?
way.
What do you mean?
Like no, I'm just saying. In order for like for me, you know, my personal journey to my womanhood, like I didn't grow, and I'm not saying that black women are bald-headed, but hair doesn't make you a woman. But back in the day, colonized way of thinking, like, oh, if you had long flowing hair, you had small feet, small waist, small hands, you were a woman. But none of my aunties and uncles, you know, none of my aunties look like that. You know what I'm saying? So did that invalidate them somehow? And when I approached my journey to my womanhood, I always felt as though, oh my God, like I would have to go so much harder than, you know, some of my other girls who have that inherently, you know what I'm saying, the straight hair and those things that people said define beauty because we weren't taught that black is beautiful. When I see you, I see black is beautiful. Black is beautiful. Black is beautiful. And for me, it's important that we continue to say that because, again, when we show up in the world, our blackness is the first thing you see.
Yeah, it's just like it's a brainwash. I mean, even when I dated girls when I was younger, my mother was like, "Why you always go for the light skin with long hair? Your mama ain't light skin with long hair." And I was like, you know, I just felt like, you know, that's what they taught us was beauty. That was like the beauty standard. If you
Right.
wasn't like a white woman, then the closest thing to it in society, I mean, all they showed us was like, you know,
These white
like
women
it was
on
white
TV
women
and
or
everything.
light-skinned women, like, you know, so it was always, it's not until now, until I got older, that I even appreciate like the chocolate skin, the full lips, the high cheekbones. Like, you know, even when you look at these African women, when you hear like American people, like growing up as kids and stuff, they red. Like
Boobs.
these African people, like they'll be like, oh, bitch, you're African, so. Now I'm looking at these women and I'm appreciate their beauty. I'm like, oh my God, her lips switch, her high cheekbones, that chocolate beautiful
Yes,
skin.
it just screams
you know.
something. And I remember a comedian, I don't know which one it was, so I'm doing you a disservice, but they had made a comment saying that when they try to say we all look the same, no, we don't. There's different shades of brown. Y'all all look the same. We have different shades of brown. That's what makes us so powerful. And you are afraid of our blackness. You are afraid of us showing up. And we've been so colonized to see that white is pure, black is evil.
Everything.
That's bullshit.
I growing up, I kind of felt like I never really paid attention to that, but I did notice that I only liked light skinned boys. And I was like, I did. I really, it was a
too.
big thing for me. I think I was like, am I racist? Am I prejudiced? I really did. Even still, like but I also love really dark skinned men. I love like chocolate, like the color of this. Like I love light skin. That's just my type. But I do say, I think that because we grew up in America, we grew up in a place where we were slaves and we had in our minds we're oppressed. We believe that we need to look like this. We believe that's why they make fun of these things because especially where I grew up in a white school. So predominantly most people were white, so were Caucasian, and they had small noses or small feet or small features. So anything other than that, people make fun of. Even going down to ballroom, even the girls, femme queens, it's everything you want to be smaller. It has to do with, but when I go out of the country, every time I go out of the country, they appreciate who they
thickness of a
are.
lunch.
They appreciate
Yo.
but I think it's the separation. Like in America, we're basically living on a white man's land. That's what it
let
feels
me
like.
say-
It feels like
I
we're living
gotta
on a
say
white man's
this.
land. It does.
That he
Even a way
stole.
of
Yo,
thinking.
I
Yeah.
gotta say this
A white man's
though.
land.
That he stole.
Yeah, but it's his.
That
He
he
stole it.
stole.
It's his though.
So I
It's
gotta
his.
say
He
this,
got- it's
like
his.
a gag that you said that because it reminded me of when I went to Curacao, and on the island they had these statues of these dark black dolls with big hips and big breasts, and they were shaped like thickness. And I was on the beach with my sisters, and people kept looking at me, and I felt like the dolls were like me, and they were looking at me and worshiping me. But there's so much history behind that, and they appreciate that there. You know, because we were healers. We were the mothers. We were taking care of things. And when you go there, and my experience with Curacao was just one that felt like, wow, I felt seen here. I didn't feel like I had to like wear a faja to go outside or anything like that. The women were curvy. The women were voluptuous, and they enjoyed it. And I'm like, you know, and we say these things like body, 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 but do we really appreciate the bodies that we in, and who's telling us that we need to do these
I mean, if Black people have such self-hate, like how many of us, like, you thought it was a badge of honor to be like, I'm mixed. Like, you know, you had to be, you know, nobody wanted to just be Black. Like,
That's
because
a
it
whole
was like, you were considered,
conversation.
like, I mean,
Y'all bothering me about
that's a
that
big-
now. You want to talk about it?
We can talk about it because some
No, I'm
people
just
think that you.
joking.
We can definitely talk about it.
Look, see, they
girls-
ready to get me. I am Black, for the record.
Okay.
But you told me you had Puerto Rico.
I
You
do.
was
I am,
mixed.
but I like. Listen, we've had that conversation yesterday.
What are you, Tabytha? Tell
I
the
am
truth.
Black.
No,
She's
Black,
married.
black,
She's
black,
married
black,
to a
black.
Spanish man.
she got Gonzalez
Okay.
from marriage. You think
No,
she-
my
No, she's-
my
what's
maiden
your
name
last
is
name?
Sylvester. I got married. I took my husband's name. It's Gonzalez. I am Black. Do I have mixed people in my family and biracial? Yes. I am a biracial person, but I do identify as Black, and no one's going to tell me anything different.
No one tried to tell
That's
you anything
it.
different.
Because the
But you
girls
said-
want to say that I'm Puerto Rican.
You
I'm
what
an
you
Afro.
say that you're
I
Puerto
am an
Rican.
Afro
I didn't say that.
Latina. Let's be clear.
She's Afro-tech.
But I'm Black. Lickety black. Black.
Okay.
Okay?
Period.
Now that conversation is closed. Don't ask her it again. Don't ask
Period. Period.
Okay. So,
I think that was good. I can't wait. We have a guest coming, a
do.
phenomenal
ooh,
guest.
oh, baby.
I think this is gonna be. I mean, we setting this off. We setting
Yes.
this first episode off right. This was
Yes.
the perfect guest.
I'm
for this.
excited. I'm excited for this, guys.
I
I'm excited
so
for the
love her.
conversation. I'm excited for the topics that I definitely want to hear what she has to say.
She speaks her mind.
Speaks.
I was
Yes.
gonna
She's a
say
beauty.
that's
She's
one of the
not
things
just
that I
beauty,
love
she's
about
brains.
her.
She speaks her mind, bitch. She's controversial. They try to make her out to be a villain. She's a sweetheart to me. I've never experienced her any
And
other
that's
way.
what I'm
but-
excited about. That's
So,
what,
we're
because I
gonna
feel
talk
like
about
I feel
that.
like that's important sometimes. What people do a lot of chatter, so you don't really get to know people for who they are because people tell you who they are. So I'm excited.
So
to have
let's
this
stop
conversation.
playing. Let's just
Let's-
bring her on so they can
let's
tell
take a
us
break.
who
Let's-
she is. What's that?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's good?
So we're gonna take a quick break, and then we're gonna come back with our special guest.
Boom, let's go. Our trans woman of the week and femme queen of the week is none other than the incomparable Angelica Ross, making media airways, also maybe running for governor, some type of seat in the council. We appreciate your voice all over, uplifting our voices, not only in mainstream media, but also in Ballroom with the Garcon Ways. We also would like to highlight our next Femme Queen of the Week, Genovia Lanvin, ruler on the ballroom floor, ruler in everything that she does. Stay tuned for the Femme Queen honors. Thank you both for everything that you do. You're an amazing voice and you are so important to this movement. We appreciate you here. Continue to watch Femme Queen Crazy, Sexy, Cool.
I'm so excited to bring our first guest of the season out. She is a legend, a model, the star of Port Authority, the first Black trans woman on the cover of Sports Illustrated. She's controversial. She speaks her mind. Leyna Bloom. Miyake Buglea. Yes! Come on, supermodel.
Miyake.
Sell it!
Miyake.
She is also a face diva in Ballroom, baby.
Yes, I had to take my
Oh
jacket
my
off for this.
God.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
How are you? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh my God. So glad to have
Can
you
you hear
on
her?
the couch.
I feel so good to be here.
Thank
Y'all
you
look
for
so
coming.
beautiful.
Thank you, so do
too.
you.
Like gorgeous. I'm so proud of y'all. Tabitha, thank you so much for inviting me here and like keeping in contact with me and checking on me and
Of
just making sure I got
course.
here safely. And I love what y'all doing. It's a
Listen.
new day. It's a new day.
The girls were already, we had already was talking about bring you. So I'm usually the one that does the outreach. They kind of dubbed me the outreach, but we kind of tag team each other. Like we have our people, and you were one of the first ones that we knew we wanted to center your voice here. And thank you for coming.
I appreciate that. And shout out to my son, Castro, who also helped out.
Thank you, Raul.
Hey.
Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Love him to death. All right, let's have a
Yeah,
conversation.
She's
She like, well, what happened?
Hey.
I'm ready.
So-
I'm ready.
She like, wait,
I was
what happened?
no, I was like, what y'all talking? Who y'all talking to?
No,
I
Castro
was,
is my son.
Okay.
He really spoke it to me. Like he showed me the first episode about you guys.
Okay.
And he was like, you should check this out. And I was just like,
And reached out.
this is important.
okay, yeah, you just forget. No, because you
He
was like
reached-
waving.
no,
I was
'cause-
thinking
no,
somebody
'cause,
was back there.
Like he reached out.
Oh, that's
he was
dope.
definitely committed. He was
Yeah,
like,
he
I
was.
need my mother to be on this show.
I was so excited. We was
Yes, he
excited.
did.
Like I was like, because I didn't even. I didn't know if it was possible. I'm like, she's big
course
time.
it
you
is.
know, no, like no. I thought because
So
I
am
mean
I.
we definitely no. I was we have a history.
Yes, we
Like
do.
I have definitely experienced you in certain places and stuff. And I always say like when they brought it up, I'm like, oh my God, because I knew her. She was a little girl,
Yes, a baby.
like a baby. I remember you standing in my bathroom in the mirror. We getting ready because we were Lords together
Yes,
and
we were.
Muglers, and you was like, I'm gonna do this. I'm moving to New York. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna become a model. And everything that you said you was going to do, you have done it. And you have accomplished it. And to me, that was such an inspiration and motivation.
Girl, you got
And I
me ready to
love
cry.
that.
The power of manifestation. That's really, really it is. You have to really speak into it. You have to dream it. You have to wake up talking about it. You have to go to bed sleeping about it. You have to talk it with your sisters, and you have to make people know it. Honestly, like this is what I wanted to do. This is what I'm designed for.
But
and
you've been making people know it for a minute now.
Thank you. It's been a minute. It really, really has. It's been a long time coming. Trying to play catch up, and a lot of people caught up, and here we are.
A lot of
Yes.
people caught up.
No, because it's gag. Like they
A lot
needed
of
to
people
catch
caught
up.
Yeah.
Because we were already doing what we were doing. People are just now catching
Exactly.
on to it.
That's
We've
what
been
I
here.
love about you, your confidence. Every time I have seen you, no matter what, I saw you secretly, you were shocked. We was both leaving Prada.
I seen you too.
We was both leaving Prada, and we saw you was going out first. You had a shortcut, and I'm like, this bitch is so poised. I love a person that is just classy, just elegant, just so poised to arch of her foot. That's a bad bitch to me.
arch
and I
of
really,
foot.
Arch in the foot.
All right.
Yeah.
Asia love an arch in the foot.
It's
Period.
just a woman. She's a strong woman to me.
Thank
She's
you.
a strong woman.
I appreciate that. I really receiving love from my community after being in the community for almost 15 years. It's so powerful to be where we're at right now, to wait our turn, to be here, to take what we deserve. But so much has went into just getting here. So I want to talk about that.
Yeah, so I mean, especially too, like,
told you, she said
yeah.
she
Well,
ready.
let's start off there too. Like because there's a few things that were set up in there that I want to get into. Like,
excited.
because some people can take that strong woman and they can interpret it in their way, and like a lot of times in the community, the narrative for you
Yes.
has been villain. Like they make you out to be like this villain. Like I never experienced you that way. Even in Mugler, when I first came back to the house in Mugler, you was like, come sit up here. The leaders are up here. I was sitting, I was giving everyone leadership this time, blah, blah, blah. You always gave me my respect or whatever, but you have had some moments with some people on the scene and you have spoke your mind, a few times, right? Whether in the scene, whether out of the scene, you speak up for what you feel is right.
Exactly.
So how has that, affected you? Like, how do you feel about when people try to say these things about you?
I mean, have they sat down and they had a conversation with me?
Come on.
Have they invited me out? Have they been in the place where I was in close proximity to actually have that conversation? Did you pull me aside and say, hey, I want to talk to you about something? Everything is about timing and where you're at right now. And I honestly feel like if you don't have access to someone, then you automatically assume the worst. You know, you see what they're doing, you automatically see like, oh, well, I want to do that also, but like, you know,
don't
it's
know
just
what it
like,
takes to do
it
it.
takes time, and it's just like no one got a chance to like get to know me and like the hustling stage of it. They see the finishing product and they automatically assume like, well, I saw when she did da. I was like, but this has been part of like my testimony. If you get to know me, if you know anyone that knows me, you know that I have this vision for how I've always wanted to live my life, and that vision took sacrifice. And so with sacrifices, you won't have access to those people because those sacrifices you kind of have to do on your own. You know what I mean? Because no one's going to be out there stepping in for you. You know what I mean?
Talk your shit.
So I just think it's just like, people love to hate me, and if you hate me, you just make my light brighter at the end of the day. And
I love that, and I love that you said that. And this objectifying thing where you're a villain and you're so super strong, and this whole thing of being strong women. When you say that, they don't know what it takes to get there. A lot of people don't know. And I always say, like, you see this flashy car, but if you lift up the hood, it needs an oil change, it needs all these things. They see you as this villain. They see you as super strong. What is it like a day for vulnerability for you? What does that look like, the softness?
well, I mean, people knows what it takes to get where we're at, where I am at. You know what I mean? They just don't want to do the work. That's just, it comes down to it. You have to really understand the climate that you're in. You have to understand what is happening in the world. You must study it. I'm really, really a big believer on like the power of the mind, the power of like understanding what the mind can do. When you open your mind and you add a voice to it and you add an energy to it, you can really open any door. You know what I mean? If you understand frequency, if you understand vibration, if you understand energy, all those three things, especially with time, anything is possible. So I just really feel that like it's been a long time coming. You know, I came from the south side of Chicago. I was on the red line going uptown to downtown on, you know, in
So
New
you
York
about
City.
it. You a little about it.
Yeah, I'm
Like I'm definitely
about
about
it.
it. So you giving my
So you ain't
energy.
just talking. You
You see what I'm
She's in
saying?
hell.
Oh, they go Asia, but she's in the hill. Look, you understand. She understands the assignment.
Yeah, I
Get
mean,
swing too. Yeah,
I was-
the hill get swing too.
Yeah.
I really feel that
Facts.
it's a time and a place for everything. And when you are representing a community and you have been given an opportunity because of something that you are born as or something that you cannot help the way that you were born as, you have to move with grace. You have to move with intelligence. And every move that you make, you're representing a community. You're representing, we are a marginalized community, but we are the most powerful community because we have chosen to be ourselves. The rest of society has chosen to like play copycat, to blend, to just assimilate, to be robotic. And we have chosen to like say, I'm gonna go in here, I'm going to give it a name, and I'm going to start from there. And I'm gonna introduce you into who I wanna be. I'm not gonna tell, this is not what my parents said I was or gave me an identity or a name. That's not really who I feel as. Now I get a chance to show you who I really am. And we are the only community in society that really goes into ourselves to create the master of our own design.
And I think that's what makes them, hey! And I think that's what makes them fear us is that we live outside of their construct of who they say we're supposed to be.
Hold on, wait, my shirt bust up.
The shirt bust up. Okay. Ooh, the girls were.
I mean, let them out, because you got them for a reason.
That's too much.
No.
She got the holy.
God said, "Don't be playing with me. I'm hungry."
Thank you for recognizing me. Thank you for recognizing the truth, the honesty.
I love you.
And I think
You know that. And we've bumped into each other on many occasions. It's just like, I'm glad that you're here with us, you know?
Super. And we're back.
Okay.
So, and that's the thing. And I also think that society fears us because we don't live inside this like construct who they say we support. I like how you broke
We
that
know
down.
who we are.
We know who we are.
That scares
We
them,
decided
too.
to
A lot of
step
people
out
are
and
hiding.
be who
A
we
lot of
are.
people are hiding, so it's so they see us and they fear it. It's like watching, like, damn, That's so dope that you can truly just be you, and I'm still like, they're hiding.
And break barriers that they said we shouldn't have access to. They've had this institution on what beauty standards should look like, and you broke that down.
Thank you.
Speaking of breaking
Wait,
barriers.
I want to piggyback on what you just said because that's really, really a powerful statement. Society for so many years, I mean, we're all from the ballroom scene, right? You know, like the society only gives us our atonement if we have a woman or a cis woman in a position to give us the camera, to put the mic on us, you know, with Paris is Burning and with Legendary and with Pose and with, you know, my movie, Port Authority, and also the movie the TV show that's coming out soon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yes, you heard it here first.
thank you.
Doing her big one.
We are always under the direction of someone else's ideas. And right now what this looks like is that you are in direction of your own manifestation. You are creating your own manifestation, it's your own platform. And it's a shame that we're only allowed to be seen when someone else gives us the shine. Like, for example, I love Beyonce, but like she just had an album, you know what I mean? And it was about culture, it's about ballroom, it's about Black culture, it's about her uncle, you know what I mean? Johnny, you know what I mean? Madonna, you know what I mean? Like, we often are waiting for people to give us our opportunity. I'm a type of person that says, I'm going to show you what you're missing, and I'm going to give you the opportunity. You know what I mean? And it's just like, we can't be waiting. We have to create our own stuff. We have to create our own, we are in charge of the lineage. And you see in culture how everyone is like, we say we copy off of them, but you're really copying off of us.
No
You know what I mean?
shade.
The style, the
Yes.
body,
The
the
language.
words, the language.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like the first time I seen a cisgender
shade.
woman
It's a
like
thing.
getting pumped, I'm like, that's like a femme queen
Yeah, it's a femme
experience.
queen experience.
And now you see all the like Kardashians and all the girls around the world, from Russia to China to the Philippines to America to London to Paris, emulating this image of like, I'm sexy, I'm glam, I'm feminine, and I'm gonna
I'm a figure eight.
exactly. And
Or
it's
the
just
what about the 40
figure eight.
inches?
It's the figure
Right,
eight.
I just-
Because you know that's been in our system for years.
Exactly.
Every bitch
Body
had a
that
figure eight.
animation.
Yeah.
That was their ideal.
I just feel like we
Figuring.
need to take back what's ours and acknowledge that there is a difference, and we don't want to be like you. We want to be ourselves.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
Period.
It's okay to be ourselves. We are creating the change that we want to see in the world.
Yes.
And it's something that we shouldn't even have to change.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When I see you speak, when I see Asia, when I see Tempress, and there are so many powerful women who have an experience like ours, who are no longer waiting
Yeah.
for you to pass us the mic. We started having a conversation about, let's do this, and it manifested. But we've always had the power to do that.
Always.
You challenged the system when you said, I need to be on the cover.
Yeah.
I need to be featured. And boom, the first Black trans model to be on the spread of Sports Illustrated.
Asian
How did that
also.
feel? How did that feel? Let's put that in there, Asian.
Yeah. It felt amazing. I mean, someone had to do it. Someone had to do it. And I have been in this industry since I've been 17 years old, and I am, I've been waiting my opportunity, and that is like the Olympic gold medal of modeling, and it really put me in the history book. So if I die tomorrow, it will stay here on Earth.
Let's go,
You know what I
legacy,
mean?
babe. Let's go.
It's about I mean, when I got into this industry, I was realizing, because I spend a lot of times in the library. I'm a brainiac. Like, I love to just completely nerd out. It's my safe space. I was reading history about so many depictions of so many powerful people, Black women, Black men, Asian, white, but I didn't really see a lot of like autobiographies or memoirs or depictions of us in these spaces. And I was just like, this is my opportunity to seize this opportunity to say that I could leave something on this earth, and I can also inspire other people to do the same thing. So if you read the caption of when I got Sports Illustrated, I dedicated to the femme queens in the ballroom scene, because they really were my inspiration. They were my inspiration. You were my inspiration. You know what I mean? Like, for us to just like get to know ourselves and go on that journey, when a lot of people say that they are, but they're not really on it. Like we have really dedicated our life, our soul, our entire existence to go down that path. I was wanted to just pay homage to Carmen Extravaganza, to Ajane, to Tracy Africa, to Tanae, to so many, to you, to all of you, you know what I mean, that have literally had to sacrifice so much, you know, to have to grow up fast in order to survive in this society that told us to stay inside and to live in stealth mode. So that cover was a representation of all of our homework and the strength of like who we are now and who we lost in the process, you know.
And I think that's so powerful. And you know me, I have like so many questions because I thought that at one point you were like pushing back at like this whole beauty standard and being sexy with Victoria's Secrets. Right?
2017.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
What was your experience like for that, actually declaring that they needed to honor trans bodies?
Okay, well, let's go back. Let's go back to like, because I never really talked about this. 2017, I was in Mexico City and I had just got off a call with an agency and they was like, oh, you're amazing, but you're just not like the look for us. And I was like, they were asking me like, what is your dream job? And I was like, Sports Illustrated, Victoria's Secret, and a beauty contract. And they was like, yeah, we don't know, maybe like try again later. And this is what I've been hearing for like literally year after year, season after season, every 6 months come back. And I was like, I'm just gonna put a tweet up and just say, I wanna be the first trans woman to ever walk a Victoria's Secret fashion show. And that's me just saying, this is what I want to do. This is my dreams. Literally in a few hours, I went to sleep, I woke up and it went viral overnight. Millions of reshares and people from all different walks of life that also had an idea about wanting their life to look a certain way spoke up and said, why shouldn't she not? Why can I not? And then the guy, I'm not going to say his name, he responded and he says that we're not part of the fantasy. We're not part of the image. Not only us, but also
lies they
curved
tell.
models
Right.
are not part of the fantasy. And literally, that was the last year they did the Victoria's Secret fashion show, was when that tweet came out. That's the power of trans women. That's the power. That is the power of trans women. Not only that's the power for trans women, but that was the same year that Fenty, Savage Fenty, came out with an all-inclusive makeup line, clothes, fashion shows, a full experience of all different people from all walks of life. At the time, they didn't have their budget because they couldn't afford me, but now, call me. You know what I mean? I just feel like we need to understand the power of like what we already have just sitting in just our breath. The breath of us just being here and being present in who we are. We have so much power in that. We are the walking billboards. And why are not we in the stores? We're working there. We're at the cash register. We're folding the bras.
Doing the
why are we
makeup.
not seen on the runway?
And here's the thing, that's a lie, because we're definitely someone's fantasy.
Period.
We've been their fantasy
Okay,
for
a
years.
lot
Since
of
the day
people's
of time.
fantasy.
Right.
Since the sun came
and
out.
if you were offered the opportunity today, would you be on the Victoria's Secret runway?
Just like Pose did, y'all have to reach out to me. Y'all have to create some type of brand ambassador relationship. We have to be very spokeswoman about the situation for you to say, you know, things have changed and it started with you having that change, and we are inviting you into this space where we need to get our shit right and we need your help.
So I wanted to get into that, like, you know, the pose and
Yeah.
having this. People look at you as a villain. They treat you. They don't see the whole story. And
Yeah.
you know, like what were these situations like for you? Being
You
a
heard
part of
about 'em.
Ballroom?
Yeah, there was rumors around the post.
Yeah,
there.
I mean, the rumors are partially true. You know, when you are a mega like juggernaut like brand, or you are a network and you're going into the most marginalized community in the world, a subculture that is full of phenomenon, full of inspiration, full of imagination. When you are putting us under the direction of someone that is white, that does not look like you, to tell you how to be, to tell you how to spin, to tell you how to dip, to tell you how to self-face, it's going to be a little bit of a problem. You know what I mean? I auditioned for Pose as one of the lead characters. I actually auditioned for MJ's character. She did an incredible job. The first episode, I told her she did an incredible job. But when you are talking about a marginalized community, you need to make sure that we are the faces of that.
Okay.
Don't hire actors to do it. Dominique was from Ballroom.
Right.
You know, Jack was from Ballroom. You know, there was some lead characters that were from Ballroom, but the rest of the people were all actors, emulating us, emulating our ideas, and they need choreography for that. We don't need choreography. I don't need choreography.
I auditioned you.
Exactly. So, you know what I mean? and then when I showed up on set, the first season when I left, because I did leave, I got in hair and makeup. I had my wardrobe in. I said hello to Hector. I said hello to Jose. And I got on set, and there wasn't a priority for the femme queens. There wasn't a priority for the female figures in the experience. And I felt like, I'm gonna wait until y'all get y'all shit right, and then I'm gonna come back. So I left the set, and I said, you know, I'm done with that. I tried to show up for my community to be a representation that I wanted to see in the world, an authentic representation. And I just had to wait a little bit. Season 3, they invited me back. They offered me a script. They offered me a character. They said that this is what the lines I was gonna be doing. This is what my agenda was for it. And I signed the contract. I got on set, and it wasn't what I agreed on. It was not what we agreed on. And again, a bunch of white people that are telling queer and Black folks to be quiet, to do this, to do that. This is how you need to look. I'm literally in like styling, and there's the under direction of a white stylist. And I'm like, how are you going to tell us about our fabrics and textiles and textures and our imagination and try to emulate that based off something that you saw on Google? You know what I mean? Like, you actually need to get someone in here that actually is part of that bizarre experience. You know what I mean? And I just honestly, it was a great experience. I mean, 20 years in the future, when you look back and you see when the world took a shift, I was a part of that experience. And I had a great moment on the show, but I definitely feel like Janet Mock should not have been writing stories about us. You know, Evan, the other gentleman, I don't know his name, he should not have been writing stories about us. Like, when I was on set, Janet didn't speak to anyone. She didn't talk to anybody besides the main cast. Like, we are the real ballroom people. These are the actors. We are the ones that need to be greeted with grace. We are the ones that you need to say, thank you for being here. And I just didn't feel like that. It seems very whitewashed. And I've heard same things about Legendary, how it was just like, they just didn't understand the power of us. They just understood that they wanted to make money off us. And essentially, that's what it's all about. It's just a money game, and it's not really about the power of us. And we have to just be very mindful of when we sign ourselves to contracts and sign ourselves to opportunities, because sometimes they just want to sign us so no one else has us.
Yeah, so a lot of people feel like, oh, you should just be thankful. How early on and that's why we have a lot of people sellouts in the community who just will, like, you know, sell their souls, just, you know, just for the opportunity. How early on did you learn your worth? Like, was that something that happened innately for you, like just early on, or did you go through some things that made you realize, oh, now I can speak to what I want and I'm gonna do what I want and not just take anything?
And why does that make her a villain though? Like, because even as I'm hearing her, I'm like,
It sounds like you have.
No, it just feel like she knows her worth, and I feel like she's like, you know, she wants the truth to be told about the community and not willing to just sell her soul for anything.
I don't like the fact that people can just hire someone from the scene and just say, tell us everything and we're just gonna make a movie about it. Like, how
Without
about
equity.
Exactly. How about you put us in the scene and we'll show you? You know what I mean? Like, press record and we'll show you. We don't need choreography. We don't need a script.
That's a good question. That's a good question. Asking basically, people of the scene should be the only one telling the story.
Exactly.
So should we be upset by that?
I think that anytime that, you guys know about gentrification. I call it agendification, because there's an agenda to come into our communities and to watch us, to learn from us, and then at some point control us. You know what I mean? And when you take people who are marginalized, who have not necessarily had access to resources or money or $20,000 cash prizes, and you say anybody can come and get it, you know, you're taking someone that is not an experience to basically work for it, to just give them $20K, and they don't know what to do with it. And now we're all fighting with each other and not fighting with why are we sitting here in this situation and why is there trauma. And also, like, the scene was made for the femme queens, started by a femme queens, and there's not a lot of femme queens that are like wanting to come to the scene. Like, for me, I've taken 10 years total from the scene because it's a butch queen scene now. And I just honestly, like, I left Mugler,
again?
No, I previously.
Oh,
Okay.
I was gonna say,
oh,
wait,
shout
you're
out
not
to
doing-
Mugler. I love my house.
Yeah.
I love y'all. Shouts out to y'all. Yusuf, Exotic, love you down. I left this scene because we are the dolls and the doll babies, as Ms. Deborah said. You know what I mean? Like, we are the ones that the girls come to see. We are the ones that you pay $30,000 to see. And when you put butch queens in a position of power, they forget why we are all here. It started from a woman. It started from a woman's trauma. It started from a woman's pain. It started from a woman just trying to navigate taking care of her brothers, her sisters, her father, her mother, her aunties, her uncles, her man, her community. And we hold that on so much of our shoulders, and we come here and we give you wonder. We dress up in just full experience. And I just really feel like I left my house originally is because I was having issues with another female figure when I should have been having issues with the father, with the butch queens in the house. And you was there when we had that meeting in Atlanta, or was it Atlanta or Philadelphia? I don't know what it was, but I wanted you to be there because it was me, and it was just literally all butch queens on the stage. And I was just, every time I spoke, they shut me out. They quiet me. And I was just like, I'm not gonna be here. You know, first of all, I'm just a chapter mother. If I was the overall mother.
That's what they announced Exotic as overall mother.
Right.
Remember we all found out right there.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, okay.
I just really feel that there's a duality with masculine and femininity. And only trans women really understand that to the full core of that experience. And I just really feel like I'm not gonna have a butch queen scream and yell at me and tell me to do this and do that. Like, I tell you what I am. You don't tell me what I am. I might need your help, but you are here to help me, you know, and when you don't do it, you come off as a parasite. It means that you're stealing from me, and I don't want any parasites.
Ate that. So here's my follow-up to that.
She's answering so many questions that I had. Like,
No.
without,
And there was a moment in ballroom history where you spoke out and you said all the femme queens should boycott ballroom.
Yeah, Femme Queens boycott Ballroom.
Where'd that come from and why?
That came from it came from leadership. It came from the power of our leadership, a power of our voices, a power from when we come out, the whole room stands up and claps. Butch queens could do that, but it's nothing like when a female figure does it. It's nothing like how a femme queen does it. It's not the same as a cis woman. It's not the same as a butch queen. It's the power of us. It's the power and that trying to figure it out. It's that power and that trying to survive. It's power and that trying to stealth. It's power of, and it's like, bitch, I've been stuff all day. I've been stuff all week. I've been running these clients, and bitch, I'm out. And look at me. Look at my hard work. Look what I created.
It's like you came out when the time when men came into the scene and adored that. They loved when femme queens gave that. I feel like we're in a scene now where, why is she feeling it? Excuse me, why is she doing so much? Like, what the fuck? Like, that's what it's about.
Yeah, but
men are like that with the women, like in society. It's
yeah,
like that too.
they don't
It's
want
like
us
a
to
lost
shine.
respect. Yeah.
They don't want us to shine too bright, to dim theirs. And I think if we don't get this under control, because I've been to the Philippines, I've been to Paris, I've been to Costa Rica, I've been to many different places that are emerging talent. Shouts out to y'all. Y'all are doing incredible. But when you don't have leadership in the position to say yes or no, you're gonna have chaos. And I just really feel like I just recently spent 3 months in the Philippines. Shout out to Mabuhay. I love you guys. ¿Cómo está acá? I had to really, I had to set up a class called The History of Ballroom. What's so funny?
You
about to go to Tokyo. I can tell you about Tokyo. I've been to
We don't
Tokyo.
need to have a conversation
Yeah.
about that.
No, but talk about that.
Yeah.
Continue.
I had a class about the history of ballroom because, first off, I'm the first legendary Filipino worldwide, the first one. You know what I mean? And when I went there, they didn't know essentially who I was to some degree. You know what I mean? And I just feel like if you don't know your history, you will eventually erase it. And I just really, I just really feel like we need to really understand that this is ours. And the more that we let people into this space, it is no longer sacred. It's no longer sacred, you know. It becomes just okay, we've seen it. What else?
And they take everything else, our language, our styles. I mean, like, what can we? And that's why I like when you said that. No one's going to Madonna said it in one of her songs where poor is the man whose actions depend on the permission of another.
Yeah.
And I think for so long we've been waiting for people to open the door for us. And if one of us make it, it's like, you got to open the door for me now. And that's not true. That can be so farthest from the truth. You have to put in the work to get to where you are.
Yeah.
And you've made sacrifices to be where you at. You've made sacrifices to be where you at. You've made sacrifices to be where
All we
you
know
at.
is sacrifices.
That's all we know.
That's how we know it's
my thing
sacrifices.
But my thing is, it's our time now.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm just like grateful that we're saying these things and we're actually manifesting that, and how we show up in the world and how we present ourselves.
We just can't also give people crowns that don't work hard for it. You know what I mean? I think we are in a position right now where everybody wants to be that bitch, but it's like, go take your moans, become a junior femme queen first, enjoy that, and then and like.
It's so crazy because it's all so simple. Literally, go be that bitch. If you said you're that bitch, go be that bitch.
Okay.
Make me know it.
And you gotta be honest about it.
Yeah.
Like, bitch, like
honest.
I don't also like the fact that when you don't have some level of respect for who came before you, you have things like what happened to my sister Tanae. And in this, I love Japan. Japan has done my makeup many times. We won cash prizes together. I just really feel that like this is a blueprint of a time that you can never recreate, no matter how much budget you have. And the fact that we're at a ball and she gets attacked, and the only person that you visually see that stands up there is what's her name?
Shay.
Yeah,
But she's
Sanaya.
like, she got in between it. Oh, and
She was-
Sanaya.
she's the only one that.
Ray.
Why are the female figures the only ones standing up for us?
You know
Because
what's so
we're the-
funny? And she, like, we talked to her. She's such a sweetheart
Such a
that
sweetheart.
she was still defending Simone.
Yeah.
She's like, I want them to stop. I don't want them to say anything more about
did
it.
say
They're
that when
persecuting
we-
her
Yeah.
too much. Like, she was like,
I
it's
want them to
happened. I'm
stop.
okay. Like, you know,
Yeah.
but yeah, you're
No,
right.
it's not okay.
Yes,
It's not
right.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To hold people accountable
Accountable,
in,
yeah.
in the community.
It's not okay. It's not okay that Janet took all the icons' like whole life and made
Yes.
they took their life, they took their pain, and they made a story off
eating
of them.
it.
Yeah,
Like,
she's talking.
like, Janet, you're not from the ballroom scene. You should not be in this space.
Did
you
she
should
say
just
she
be a
been to a ball?
spectator.
Did she say she been to a ball?
I've never
before?
seen her
I've
at a
never
ball
seen-
before.
They
in my
always
life.
do that. I've been to a ball
You're a
before.
writer. You know, you was at Marie Claire. You did an amazing book. That's powerful. But this is a space that we had to work hard in, and you should not be telling our stories like this is a story that you should be telling. This is a story that you should be telling. Like we need the positions to tell our own stories, and shame on you, Raya Murphy, for like doing that to us.
You are calling
No, but you know
them
what I
people
love? You know what I love?
out.
No, but that's what I
You know
love.
what-
That's what I wanted.
I
No,
like
but that's
Ryan
what this platinum is for.
I like Ryan Murphy
Ryan
also.
Murphy.
I think he's amazing.
No,
but when you
but
come into
she-
our space where it's prominently black and brown, which is the first thing that you ever done for black people and black queer people, this is the first depiction of your artistry that you have catered toward our experiences. Like, you need to really hire the people from the community and not just put them
So
behind the
what
scenes.
about the people who was behind the scenes that was feeding this information to him and telling him like,
I feel like
you
they're
know,
the problem.
yeah, are they like, do you think there's any accountability for those people?
Absolutely. Absolutely. But I also understand the life and the survival aspect of a black queer person and a trans person
Say that.
is just trying to just get an opportunity. And like, if you're the first one to do it, like, what do? There's no rule book on that. There's no rule book on being the first. There's no rule book on getting opportunity for us. You know what I mean? Like, it is the beginning stages of it. It's only 5 years old. I mean, we've been here since the dawn of time, but like, we are where, you know, black people first got like, you know, freedom and power to be equal opportunities of humans in society, published and papered. You know what I mean? We are the first time. This is the beginnings of that time. Imagine what they went through in that time when it came to movies, when it came to radio, when it came to film, when it came to music, when it came to being a designer. You never got someone took your designs and they put it on Marilyn Monroe and no one ever knew who your name was, and it was a black woman behind all the Marilyn Monroe's like dresses back in the day. You know what I mean? We're in that time where people are
your
stealing.
research.
Do your research. That's why I said I spent a lot of times in the library, and it was also a safe space for us, and this is a place where so many people come, and I just really wanted to just learn about history. It was my favorite subject, and it's unfortunate I couldn't learn it in our schools because they don't see it for us.
Okay.
But I went to the library and I learned about it. I learned about fashion. I learned about all the models and all the designers, and I knew that if that was going to be my vision, then I was going to be able to have to speak about it when it came to me actually living it.
So you speak about the first, like you were the first for a lot of things, you know. So your decision, and we talk about stealth a lot, like, you know, the days of being stealth and the girls and stuff. So when you decided that you didn't want to be stealth, because you can easily, like you have passive privilege, you could have easily, you know, just maneuvered this life when, you know, not telling anybody. What made you decide to come out and say that? And looking back on that decision, are there any regrets?
Okay, yes. I am light-skinned. I'm in a position where I am passable. So I can use that for my power, or I can use that to just teach people. You know, since I am the first person in this space and I have been born this way, I have to make the most out of it. And it's a responsibility, essentially, to, if you're going to be the first to have the knowledge, to communicate it. You know, a lot of the opportunities I have gotten, you know, being the first openly trans woman to be in Vogue, to being the first trans woman to have editorial in Essence, being the first trans woman to have a beauty contract with L'Oreal Paris and Tresemme, and be on the cover of Sports Illustrated, being the first and the last trans woman from the ballroom scene to go to the Met Gala. You know what I mean? I'm in really big rooms where I have to not just enjoy my moment, but I also have to teach people. I have to be a position of like, no, let's get it right. Let's get the wording right. Can you send me like the outline before you push it out? Let's make sure that it's done right and correctly. So I think if you are in a position where you are born in a privileged, you know, we live in a society where it is colorism. You know, I can't just be a light-skinned pretty girl. I have to be an intelligent Black, light-skinned woman. You know what I mean? I have to be intelligent. I have to be able to not just be beautiful, but have the brains, the heart, and the fucking nerve to go on the world and say, like, with me, you don't just have me, you have my community. And if you're going to have me, you take all of us, not just me. You know what I mean? And I think that's a lot. And a lot of people that are representing us are not having those type of conversations because they wasn't in the ballroom scene, but they are playing about ballroom scene. So yeah, it's a really toxic space, and money talks in a lot of these times. And what they said, and the Players Club, all money ain't good money.
Let me tell you something. You really have to have the audacity to put your feet down and stand on your business. And like, we like talk occasionally. We pass each other like at the shows and stuff like that. But I like that you said that. Like, we've never had the opportunity to like have this conversation face to face, because I too, if I'm being honest, had one time thought that you were just this villain, right? And I was at the show with you. Oh my God, the Blondes, and I remember like there was like these group of like these kids who were there, and they were like, Leyna, 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 and you totally ignored them. And I was like, and then I had to remember that I've done that at times, and people have seen me as a villain, but when you're there, you have to be that intelligent person to stand on business and make sure that people know it's not just me. I have a whole shitload of people that's coming in back of me.
Yeah.
So I have to represent, and not understanding that lens. I too was like, oh girl, she's so fierce to people, like, but she's never done that to me. But my thing is, you are absolutely right. You are absolutely right. Do your homework and work your way into those spaces.
My gay father, Nakai Moore, he was actually, he was the first person to kind of like take a chance on me. Actually, an Asian woman actually brought me into the ballroom scene. Shouts out to Malia. You know, this one thing that he always lived by, and it's not what you say yes to, is what you say no to that builds character. You know what I mean? We live in a society where everybody is saying, oh, you want this opportunity? Yes. I'm like, no, figure it out, come back with a better contract. And, if it's meant for me, it will happen. But you got to know, like, the path that you are on is going to be great, regardless if you need the opportunity or not. And I know that where I was going to go and the things I was going to do, regardless how long it took, I was going to get there.
Say that.
Yeah. So, yeah, I really think that, it starts with just knowing who you are and being okay with just that, and knowing that who you are today is not who you're going to be 3 years from now. And we just got to get there.
And that is the power of being you, and it doesn't make you a villain because you know who you are.
First of all,
When y'all call her a bitch, she's being a bitch for us.
yeah, but
Now, I think sometimes people just don't be in that same space that people think they are. Like sometimes for me, sometimes if I don't see you, I may be somewhere else in my head. I may be thinking about something. So I'm not even paying attention to it be that sometimes.
Because some people
So
be
let
like,
me give you let's give you some examples that you
Yeah.
can speak about and tell us what was
Let's
going
go.
on. Because a lot of times
Let's
you don't
go.
know what happened or how a person's day was or whatever. So people tend to bring up this conversation about like when you came back to the scene
Yeah.
and you battled Lola.
exactly.
And so at the end of that battle, she went to hug you and you walked off.
Yes.
Now I'm one of the girls I've had battles with bitch, a bitch walked
Yeah.
off, whatever it creates a moment. I don't care. I don't really, what do you speak to like people like, oh, she's so fierce, like why would she do that? Blah, blah, blah. What was going through your head and what do you feel about
Okay,
that?
so when you talk about Lola, are you talking about the old Lola or the new Lola?
oh, so there's history.
Yeah, me and
Yeah, because
Okay, I just let the people know that wasn't just an isolated
first
incident.
off, Lola's absolutely incredible. She's so beautiful. When I first met her at a ball, it was in Atlanta. She came right up to me. We exchanged numbers, and we promised to chop it up, and we chopped it up. But Ballroom really, really takes people on different journeys, and I just saw some things in her back in the day that I just didn't really feel like I wanted to connect with. And one thing about energy, and one thing about my faith, is my faith has a detection of unauthenticness and people that are being in dark energies, that people are being messy. And I knew that I wanted something for my life, and I had to do it when I was young because I wanted a long history. I wanted a long legacy. I wanted to have a long opportunity. And it's not even just her, it's just Ballroom in just general. You have to understand any network or any subculture in society, you're gonna have good and you're gonna have bad and you're gonna have neutral. And I just always try to stay in a very neutral state. And if you don't have access to me, if you have, you're going to think what you want to think. But like at the end of the day, like I grew up watching Ajane and Tanae battle, and they loved each other behind the scenes. And that was a opportunity for her to stay relevant in my life. When it came to that ball, because she beat me, I beat her, she beat me. We go back and forth. That's what the competition is. And at the end of the day, like we are top girls in the scene in Ballroom and outside of Ballroom. So like, why not make it hot? Why do I need to give you a fake happiness and laugh? Like, you won, good job. But at the end of the day, bitch, I'll see you at the next fucking function.
Right. That's how I look at it. Like, child, it's like, it is
mean,
what it
I
is.
know
I'm sure Lola has done that. I think she did that to you before, too, when you won. Like, right.
Right.
I don't know,
there was
but,
a time, I think it was the coldest winter ever when she won and Lola stormed off and didn't give her a hug.
No, that was Michelle behind. That was Michelle.
Yeah, I just honestly, like...
It wasn't me. It was Michelle.
Yeah, I think that, I remember. Did y'all
I
battle
think
at
you had
Coldest
on a
Winter?
white t-shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it was.
They did battle at the Coldest Winter with the jeans and the t-shirt.
It was jeans. I was
Yeah,
there. I
yeah,
remember
Comment
that.
as a cover girl.
Because she came down and it was like, and she walked off.
So some people want to say that you're like a sore loser. Do you feel like you...
Sweetheart, I've won. I am the definition of a winner. That's what I want it to always be. Even when I lose, I'm still a winner. You know what I mean? Like, it's not about being a sore loser. It's about we are in a space of competition first. You know what I mean? You are creating something that you're trying to leave on the floor, and the whole point of having rivalry is to have like that competition. And if you want to have longevity as a competitor, you have to compete with the best. And I don't need to be like here chopping it up. Like me and her move in different spaces. So it would be different if we both were in the same spaces a lot of times. But she's come up to me many times and said hello to me, and I said hello to her. But like, I just honestly, I'm a Taurus, and like once you done me dirty, like you like I forgive you, but I don't forget at all. And it's a protection for me. You know what I mean? And I just also, you have to also understand like the power of energy of like, you bring someone into your life, what is the purpose? Are they there just to take up space? Because if they're taking up space, I need that space back if you're not using it. You know what I mean? And I just honestly feel like certain people, certain people, they latch onto you and it becomes a trauma bonding experience. And I don't like trauma bonding. I'm really, really like big on energy. Like I said, I'm Asian. We stay in the books. We stay like really into the science of things. We're really about like, I like to go to work and like to come home. It's not many people around me that can have access to me. And when I'm ready to open up, then we can chop it up. But until then, like, I was brought here to do something and I'm going to do it. And that takes a lot of sacrifice.
I have a question about this, what you just spoke about. How did it, like, when did you be okay with that? Because a lot of times people make you feel bad for being basically an introvert sometimes, like this person that's to themselves. Especially within the scene, they make you feel bad for not speaking to everybody, being in the same crowd, or just sticking to yourself.
One thing, when you are a light in society and you are the light of all lights, you know what I mean? When you're next to people and they're not being their most authentic self, what they're hiding shows, truly, and I feel that. And my dad told me when I was a very young child, it's just like, this world is not checking for you. This world is not going to be here for you. So you got to go out in this world and you got to really leave something on this earth if you want to be who you are in all of it. You know what I mean? And there's millions of humans on this earth, and the ones that are putting your life by the grace of the universe, they're supposed to be there at that time. And maybe it's not me and her season. Maybe it's not their season for us. Maybe years to come, we might do a project together. We might, join the United Nations together. I might run for president and I might need your help. You know what I mean? Like, we have to understand all of our strengths, and we have to understand that in the path of doing what we're doing, like, there's only certain people that we need around us, and the people that are around us that should not be there, they're leeching off of us.
You
And
said that the other day
Yeah,
about
so
like
hard,
just
like-
certain energies you get around people and you leave.
I
and
can
you
feel
like,
it.
Oh,
You can
I can feel
yeah,
it.
me too.
I can feel it, you know what I mean? And yeah.
Sometimes it's so hard. So speaking of that, you spoke about your dad, and I know you talk about your dad a lot. You had a very supportive parent.
I did.
Did you play any sports when you were younger?
Oh my God, absolutely. I love sports. I was really, really good at sports. I almost got recruited when I was a kid to a football team because I loved, I could throw and I can catch. I love sports. My dad raised me. When I was a very young child, he knew that there was something very powerful about me, and it had a lot to do with the duality of masculine and femininity. And he just said, don't suppress anything, just really enjoy life, really enjoy the power of masculinity, the power of femininity, and know that at some point you will find the balance. And I just love sports, and I really, really think that we need to start our own trans sports teams.
So we agree.
It's a lot of money in that. It's going to be a lot of money when we get to that point of trans people or even co-ed teams where cisgender, transgender men, women, can come from curved to skinny or be lightweight or heavyweight. I mean, whatever the case may be, we need to get to a point where we're all supporting each other, and also enjoying the power of competition and the love for it. You know what I mean? And I think that I'm actually in the process of trying to develop a TV show. I'm looking for, looking for networks that are interested because I want to do a TV show about of young youth trying to navigate themselves as being trans, the family trying to figure it out, and also them playing sports. And I think that it could be a really, really powerful television show that could really open our minds and start inviting people to think differently.
Absolutely. You spoke about colorism briefly
Yeah.
earlier, and that was one of the topics that we talked about earlier. And you said that you feel like I love what you said about that. How do you view the conversation of colorism? Do you think that people are like exaggerating it? Like, is it like brought up too many times? Or
I don't think it. I think colorism is a universal problem. When I go to Asia, when I'm in Tokyo, when I'm in the Philippines, when I'm in Thailand, when I'm in Paris, when I'm in South America, there is the conversations about colorism and how to try to be lighter. And I think it's very, very toxic. I mean, God put us on this earth for us to be all beautiful and all our shades of colors. And I think that it's sick that we live in a society where we tokenize other people, than others, you know what I mean? But like, I do understand that for so many years, especially in this particular country, there have been the bag tests, the paper bag tests and stuff like that. And you know what I mean? The things that have happened to brown-skinned people, first of all, on a regardless where you land on it, it's all wrong. They put that against us to fight with each other. You know what I mean? So, they set this tone and they say, now fight. Now fight for the opportunity. House slave, field slave, fight with each other. But each slave is going through trauma. The house slave is getting raped, is getting, dealing with the issues of like the mother of the house and, having sex with the master and like their children, you know what I mean, being born out of wedlock and stuff like that. And then also fighting with like the field slaves. Like it's something that has been happening since the dawn of time. And it's just something that we need to start having conversations about with hair texture, with also, body, curves and stuff like that. Like we are in a time where we can start having that conversations. And when I did that Victoria's Secret tweet, you know what I mean? So many people from different walks of life, not just people from different colors, but like people that had skin conditions, people that were able-bodied humans, people that were, small people, older people, age positivity, they started to really, really understand the value of like, you're saying that there's something wrong with me. I say that it's powerful. And because of that, and because of what you're saying that there's something wrong with me, that is my superpower, and that's going to get me where I need to be because of that. So I think we just need to understand the power of celebrating differences and giving people opportunities to share space and to be in positions where we give other people that are not in our positions to also take a turn. You know what I mean? Like, I think the most powerful thing is like not knowing, understanding where you're at, but understanding what's coming up behind you and also what's standing beside you, and that we could both have this opportunity together and share it together, regardless of where you come from. And I just think that if we put it all into this blender and blend it up, it's just like we lose so much, we lose so much nuance and so much power. And I just want to see all of us live. Some of my favorite models are brown-skinned women. Rashamba, she was one of the first women on, to work with Sports Illustrated. I got to recently work with her, and she's like shaved head completely. I sat down with her, and she says, "I love being Black," and I was like, "I love you being Black. I love your Blackness. I love everything about you. I love that you did not give up because other people said that, and that gives me power to not give up on the things that I'm doing." But me knowing my privilege, me understanding the power of like me being light-skinned, you have to also understand like because of that, you need to make sure that your other sisters who are different shades of colors, like my sister, my biological sister who is brown skinned, who is absolutely beautiful, we need to always uplift each other because we don't know what they're going through. We don't know what they're going through, and we don't know how they show up in the world or how they want to be shown up in the world. And I think it's really time to just like really sit down with each other and have these type of conversations so we can come to some understanding.
Ooh, girl, that took me like I'm in my head trying to think of like the follow-up question, because it's not that it's absolute, but it makes so much more sense. And I think that it is so much quality in us having these conversations
Yeah.
so people could get to understand the layers of what makes us who we are and why. And I keep saying the audacity and the confidence to be you.
Yeah.
It's something that is powerful, and that's something that we have as women. We had the audacity
Yeah.
to say, this is who I am.
Amen.
So why do we stop at, we're not supposed to have this, we're not supposed to do that? You know, for me, thank you for continuing to have the audacity, to have the confidence, because you definitely have. Because I'm thinking like, viewers are probably like, well, why does she think she's all that? No, you have the audacity to just be you, regardless of what anybody else thinks, and that takes a superpower, and that takes a super strength. And for me, what would a world look like if we all had that confidence to say no? People feel like there's this whole fear-mongering construct that if you say this, you're going to be canceled. If you do this, people are not going to like you. And I fought with that. And you said something about challenging your viewers to think different. And I have my sisters to do that. And like Tempress, as my mom has continuously challenged me about being yourself. Stop doing that for the viewers. Be yourself. And when I hear you talk, and it's just like, yeah, fuck that. You know, like just be your fucking self.
So, like when
Like,
you're
you
in
have
these
to have
rooms with
skin.
these like heterosexual people, and like, you know, I see you constantly fighting and pushing the mark. Like, well, why don't you do this?
Yeah.
Or why don't? And I love that.
Yeah, I mean, because I am in that space, that's my responsibility to do that. And
Is it though?
I have to. I mean, we need to be able to communicate what our needs are as Black folks, as queer folks, as trans folks, because people have neglected that for so many years. So I'm telling you, this is what we need. Are you listening? Or are you just booking me just because you have a quota? Like, are we really having this conversation? And I was working with L'Oreal Paris for many years, and I would sit and ask them, like, you guys hired me to be a brand ambassador for your brand, but you guys are not really putting me to work. You know what I mean? Like, why not? It's just like, oh, we're just, you know, we're not in charge. And it's just like, then you know what? This opportunity, like, is powerful being the first. But hopefully next time with the next trans woman that walks in here, you get it right. You know what I mean? So that's my role, is to be a bridge. My role is to be a bridge. We're born in a time when we are born with who we are, and in order for us to get the next generation in, maybe we not might get that opportunity or seize the opportunity fully, but the next generation will, because you did it. It was a sacrifice.
That's
And
what
that's
excites me.
exactly
right.
So
Yeah.
that's exciting for me. That's what excites me, like that, being the bridge and having that testimony and maybe opening the door. Are you crawling so that the next person can walk?
Because there were
You know?
others who came before us who crawled so we can walk.
Yeah.
But, and that's the thing about privilege. Like I always say, without, you know, like, without the purpose of doing what you're doing, like if you have the access, it is your, when you say your obligation, that's why I said, is it though? Because I do believe that when you have access, it is your opportunity to create access for others.
Yeah.
But there's also a call and response. That has to be something that calls to
Yeah.
you. Because like you said earlier, certain people get the access and it's for them.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I got this thing, it's survival, I'm gonna do this, but it takes a special someone to say, not only am I gonna get access, but I'm going to tie Master up, we're gonna sit him in this chair, and we're gonna get everybody in here, we're gonna take over this house.
Yeah.
And those are the type of women that I enjoy. Those are the type of men that I enjoy being around. People who are actually creating the change for us to have access to the things that are rightfully ours as humans.
You know, we are giants standing on the shoulders of giants. And I know if y'all heard that before. I would sit down and have conversations with Carmen Extravaganza. She just passed, last year. And that was my mother, you know what I mean? And she would sit down and tell me about the things that she went through. And she would tell me stories about Octavia, her daughter, and they're both together now on earth, you know, in heaven. They're here on earth also, you know what I mean? I would just, you know, the conversations that me and her have is just like, you know, the things that they they had to go through. You know what I mean? For them to just be at that time and place to do what they can. You know what I mean? And the fact that I'm like where I'm at and I actually get to do what they wanted. Their dreams breathe through me. They breathe through me. We're in full motion together, living this, levitating in this experience. So their dreams came true. You know what I mean? It just came true in a different way. You know what I mean? And I just want us to continue having conversations with the people that came before us. You know what I mean? Like continue sitting down. And one person, that I loved, that I feel like another reason why the ballroom is in such a really crazy place right now is because MC Deborah is not with us, to like really, she's with us, but it's just like that level of power of keeping people in check.
Yes.
Is just missing.
She did.
There's a jacket with jacket.
MC Deborah, we
No
love
one,
you.
no one looked at it like that. They always thought about her commentating, but the fact that you said it like that, I have never even thought about it like that.
Yeah, I mean,
She's been gone.
it's since she's been gone, it's been changed.
She that entitlement, like she's like, but you're not that girl. Yeah, she was, and she
Learn
gave
your
like
space,
history and
learn
all that.
your spot.
Speaking of that, taking it back to ballroom, let's lighten it up a little bit because you said, everything you say goes viral and everything you do goes viral. So let's talk about this piece of hair that went viral.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
That little wig.
When you
Okay.
walk. So
Let's talk about it.
So everybody was making this whole thing about. So Lexi decides to make a video about
Lied.
her coming. Yeah, because I ended up seeing the video out there, and I don't think that it was as extreme as she made it out to be. And me being a face girl that walks, bitch, don't touch my hair.
Don't touch me.
Don't touch me, because I'm in the zone. So how did you feel about that? And was this was your hair intentionally?
Okay, so one of my favorite movies from the 90s is Baps. And Kim Kimble did Halle Berry's hair in Baps. And if you see her hair, she has like little bangs that are here in the front. And it was my first time ever going blonde in the public. And I wanted to just pay homage to like that woman, Halle Berry in that movie. And that was the look for that night.
I thought it was.
That was the look for the night.
It was easy I felt like it was. She didn't want it
Yeah.
Just
also, it was my first
perfected.
time wearing lace, and I was just a little bit kind of like, how do I work with this? And shout out to Yusuf who did the hair. It was just, it was a different. It was my night, but it wasn't my night. Mm-hmm. And I'm so happy that Lola won. Let's just say that she deserved it. She looked actually incredible. She always looks incredible. I just honestly feel like when you are in a position where you're about to go and be the Olympic gold medal, don't touch me. Like, it's time for me to do what I came here to do. And I remember like watching the performance and her just reaching over, touching me. I don't care if it was Lexi or if it was Drexy. I don't give a shit. Just don't touch me. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't want, if we out in public, would you just walk up to someone you never met and just touch on them? No, you wouldn't. Black women don't like their hair touched at all. Oh. So it's just, it took me out of my element. And you saw the South Side come out real quick.
The South Side.
Real quick.
She from Chi-Town.
Yeah, and I don't want no violence. I don't like violence. I stay away from violence because I just feel like there's so much love in the world and we all come from this universal language of love. Mm-hmm. And, it's a shame that people are saying such negative things about me, but at the end of the day, like, baby, anyways.
So what's the day in life? Like, now you live, obviously, you live abroad and stuff now, which is like, a lot of people don't, get to do that, and you're actually doing that. What is the day in life like for Leyna?
Well, first off, my dad, the best gift he ever gave me was a passport. He told me with this passport, you're going to collect pieces of puzzles that's going to make a person that is one of a kind. So I'm a product of an international love affair. My dad was in the military where he met my mom in the Philippines. So I'm a byproduct also of war. And I just love traveling. I loved seeing my home, my earth. I love to go around the world. Last year I went to Hawaii, Tokyo, Costa Rica, the Philippines, you know what I mean? Like, I really love to just take up space everywhere. And a lot of those places that I go, I also, I'm a teacher. So I teach also, I do private classes. I teach students privately. And it was an opportunity for me to, you know, be a teacher and be a student of this world and, you know, give back. And I live in Paris, and I also come back and forth to New York City. And shout outs to the Paris ballroom scene. I love y'all. Je t'aime. And I just really love living overseas. I think it's just like we've been here.
Goals.
Here.
Yes.
We've been here in the States. And, you know, I never wanted to be a local beauty. I wanted to be an international beauty. You know what I mean? I want to go out in the world and see the world so the world can see me. Yeah. So, yeah, you know what I mean? Stretch your wings and fly.
What's next? Like you talked about, you know, the TV show. You started doing a TV show.
Yeah.
Do you have any things that you want to shout out?
Yeah, we got a TV show coming out. The date has not been set, but the contract is signed. And, you know, there's so much that's going on. I'm just finished my first script. I'm trying to, if they're not going to tell our stories correctly, then we have to tell our own.
Gotta get out there.
What's that?
I'm working
Tell
on
me when the audition.
Yes, I'm working on this. I'm working on this script. It's called the GFE, and y'all know what that means. The GFE.
Oh, the
Girlfriend experience.
Yes. So it's
no,
just
that's
yeah,
not girlfriend.
yeah,
GFE. Oh, girlfriend. Oh, sorry. Excuse me.
yeah,
They said blonde.
yeah. I'm working on
I don't know why I was picturing GIF. Like
GIF.
oh my God. Girlfriend GIF.
Yeah, it's called the GFE. I'm working on.
We've
it right
heard that
now.
so many times.
Right, exactly. So I'm working on that script, and there's also a few other projects that I'm trying to get greenlit, and I'm really in like understanding the value of like being in front of the camera, but also the value of being behind the camera and how much powerful that
For the
is.
audience who may not know what GFE means,
Yeah.
what is that about?
Girlfriend experience. The girlfriend experience is when you are a woman that is working an ad, or you know, you meet a guy or a client or a guy that's at a bar or at the strip bar, and some guys just want to have a girl throw her titties and her pussy in her face, and then there's some guys that want to have a girlfriend for that evening, or have a girlfriend for many days or a month or a year. And you may not like the guy. You might not feel that you want to be in the
gotta
experiences,
fake it.
but you got to fake it. And you know what I mean?
Be like, oh my God, I love you,
I'm
Daddy.
a woman that,
I love you.
I love you too.
I love you, Daddy.
yeah, I am, you know, modeling is like, my dad would say, modeling is a form of sex work. So, you know, my mom was a sex worker. My biological mom was a sex worker, and I did sex work. You know, I'm very open about it. We don't often talk about it. I don't know why, but I, you know, had many years from 17 to 23. I was a full-blown sex worker, working as a stripper, working as an escort. You know, all around the East Coast, working the ads and going on tour. And I went from being a sex worker to the cover of Sports Illustrated. So, you know what I mean?
Talk about that.
About it.
Talk about that.
You know what I mean? Like, we could do anything.
Yeah.
Let's
You
talk
know what I
about
mean?
that. I mean,
And-
shoot, the last time you talked about sex work on here, my girlfriend right here said, girl, you was in the streets. I was doing.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
we got to do what we got
You
to
remember that?
do.
She said, I don't do the streets. That was where you was at.
She said she started in the
I
street
saw
too.
you.
Yeah.
I did.
I mean,
I
I
start
didn't
from-
start in the street. No, we're not. I'm just kidding.
She
I'm
started
just
in the
kidding.
club.
No, I did start in the club either.
That's
I was an Arrows girl.
Yes, Arrows. Ooh, that $125.
Club too, with the club too. That was a cute little pickup too.
Yeah.
and I think that
I'm glad we
people
can, you know.
frown down on
I don't know
our
why.
journey.
I don't know why.
And that was the reason why I asked that, because that was the first time I heard that. GFE, and I was just thinking about like,
See, she was a street girl.
see what I'm saying? Listen, if we had to, I was doing some
Why
We're
not?
just joking. We don't look.
I
down
was
on
doing
none
some
of that.
strange things for some change in my day.
It wasn't strange.
that
You were
car.
surviving.
It was surviving.
You were survival. You know what I mean? My fucking sex work paid for my modeling contract.
And
Paid
see,
for my
and here's the
modeling
thing, and
portfolio.
I think a lot of people tend to steer away from that. And I know I keep going back to that,
Yeah.
but that's why I think the Stroll documentary was so real
What
and
is that?
authentic. What? The
Is that a
Stroll?
bug on your hair?
The
Oh
what?
my God. Get
What
that
is
thing
it?
right there. Get it
What is it?
right here.
What?
You know
Where did it go?
Oh my gosh.
It wasn't
Adrian sitting there
about-
looking. Oh, it wasn't. Okay.
What was it?
I was trying to let you finish. I'm sorry, but it was like.
It was something that I kept scratching. Was it really a fucking bug?
No,
I
it
knew it
wasn't.
wasn't a bug. That's why I was looking
Oh
at
my
it.
god!
I was out there lit. I was looking at it.
It was something that was weird because I kept scratching
It's just
it.
that I was just looking at it. It wasn't
because I knew
moving.
it wasn't moving.
What was
It was
it?
just a piece.
It's
I
okay.
think it was a piece of leather.
But no, honestly, like getting back to what I said, like that's why I think the stroll was such an amazing piece. Y'all, we laughing because we thought it was a bug on me.
Oh my God.
But bitch, I was
No, we're not
The way
gonna-
that I said, what is that?
and
That was
I have
hilarious.
such a fear of bugs. Like
Me
I don't
too.
know.
Me too.
And I think that was so pertinent for us to tell our story because when you keep talking about if they're not gonna make it, then I'm gonna make
Yeah.
it. And this is why I said that when that documentary came out, there are so many different people
That was powerful.
that have experienced sex work
Yeah.
in a different way. And this creates an opportunity for you to make a documentary.
My first boyfriend
saying
took me off the
GFE,
street.
for you to make a documentary about what it meant to be a call girl and
Yeah.
however we had to navigate in society. Sex work is work.
Yeah.
And I'm here today because I know that it actually provided me with spaces that I can have access to, like a roof over my head, food in my stomach. At that time, that was the basic need.
Yeah.
And for so long, we've been fighting for our basic needs. And now that we've moved on, we have to make sure that every other girl have them same opportunities.
You can't talk about Ballroom without talking about the survival of a trans woman trying to navigate herself through sex work, and you know what I mean. It's a conversation that is very, very serious, and sex trafficking, which is what we are doing, what we end up doing, and to some degree. You know what I mean? It's a conversation that we need to have more conversations about.
Wait a minute now.
We all got wait. When you said
Wait.
trafficking, everybody
No,
got
I
a little.
mean, that is.
Don't
that's-
diddy me.
Wait a minute.
I mean,
No, because sex for me,
No, I don't mean to say that, I
sex
don't
work
believe
is something
that.
that is consensual.
Yeah.
It is something that you have full control over. When someone is sex trafficking, more often than not, that is someone who is having it under duress, and people are forcing them
Yeah.
to do that.
What do you mean
And
by
they're
that?
Yeah, let me explain. So when I first started sex trafficking, it was through one of my girlfriends that got me into it, and I found out, you know, in the long run, like this is what this is. Like this is what this is what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like I'm being in a position where, you know, people are lusting over me, and I need to. I have. What do? I can't go and apply for jobs. I
So
can
is
go.
that sex working or trafficking? Because
think-
you wasn't doing it against
She
your will.
onto something though.
What you think she onto? Here we go.
I'm gonna say she's onto. I'm gonna say she's
Nervous.
onto something, and I'm gonna be honest. It's because my friend told me about it.
Yeah,
I was
same
told
thing.
about it too.
It was kind of like
Yeah.
they kind of told you this is
Gotcha.
all we had.
Right.
Yeah.
This
We
is
talked
all we
about
could
that.
do.
Yeah.
So and being a young, I was
16.
I was 15.
I was
yeah,
16.
basically turning 16
In Chicago.
And, yeah, in New York, and I was just the way they liked it. I got to do it. I became numb instantly.
Yeah.
Is it sex trafficking though? In a sense, it
'Cause
could
you
be
Sex
trafficking
means
looks like many different things.
You're kind of telling other
just
people,
don't-
but it wasn't against your
She
will.
recruited me to sex work, and that's what happened. That's what sex trafficking
It's not the
started
same
as.
type of
Someone
vibe. It's like the
recruited
same-
you to this experience, and next thing you know, you got this money coming in, and like you don't have any other options, and this becomes your life, and now you want to leave it, but you're in this position where how I'm going to provide for myself, how I'm going to
That
get
new life that you
Yeah.
have.
So that's, I mean,
Yeah.
there's different forms of sex trafficking. That is like the umbrella of it, but there's many different ways on how you can interact with it. You know what I mean? I think that it's a conversation that we have not had, so we are a little confused about it, and we need to have more conversations so we can get down to what it looks like, because there's different forms of sex work, and
This is a really deep
Okay.
conversation
Yeah.
because I
And
can
people don't
see-
wanna
You must
have
be
it.
nervous.
No,
You had to
no,
go
people don't wanna talk about
They
it.
be like,
Because we
oh,
all
look,
gotta
you
be-
should have
people
seen
don't
us
wanna
when
talk
you said
about
sex
it.
trafficking.
No, no,
And all
no.
of our eyes was like,
Because
Yeah.
we got when we having this conversation, and we have these conversations regardless. It's okay. I always take accountability within myself.
Yeah.
And I think it's important for us to take accountability within a community. A lot of us go to our friends and we tell them about this way of life, and sometimes we tell them this is all we can do. I have never told no one that, but someone told me that.
Yeah.
And maybe if someone told me something different, I might have went somewhere else.
And no one
Yeah, I
told me
was
not to do
bothered.
it.
Yeah, they told me. I was
Gag.
over
No one
them
told me
for
not to do
telling
it.
me.
So, I mean, listen, that's why I always say sex work is work. Sex work saved my life on
Yeah.
so many occasions, and I stand by that.
Okay, enough about whoring. So,
It's a deep comment.
what's,
It's a fab
what's your
We'll save
dating
that for
life
next
like?
time.
Are you dating or what's going on?
I thought you
Like, you
are, don't you?
No. I've been single for about 2 years. So I'm pansexual. So I date all different types of people. I don't really care who you are. If you can show me something I've never seen before, and you can also teach me something that I've never seen before, I will never forget you. I don't discriminate. I just honestly, I love humans. I think people are beautiful. I am asexual. I don't really have sex with people I'm not mentally, psychologically, intellectually, and spiritually, sexually attracted. Like, if we
Brain
don't have,
fuck me.
if you can't mind fuck me, my body is not
You
gonna
think
follow.
that's because you?
So you're
because you
asexual
escorting?
now.
Yeah, I'm asexual.
okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but
I
you
would
not
ask this question.
like that's not gonna be a thing
I gotta
forever.
ask this
Like
question
this,
about that.
that's not
I'm
like-
waiting for my. I
You're waiting for the
honestly,
right-
I'm waiting for the right
So
person.
I'm asexual right now too. Then.
Yeah,
Like, you know.
Oh,
Come on.
do you-
Like 2
I'm the
years.
same way.
Asexual.
No, I'm
Yeah.
literally. But do you say that because your past life of escorting?
Definitely to some degree.
That's deep.
Okay,
I'm saying that
Go, Asia.
No, I'm saying
No
that because I think a
shade.
lot of times, a lot of us, we don't believe we having them real conversations within ourselves. We can distract on. We think like this because we have sex all
I mean,
the
the
time.
idea of sex
and we
was
don't
always
know how to
transactional.
separate if he likes me or not.
Right.
If he actually wants to be with me, because we see how men fantasize.
Yeah.
We see the fantasy that they
Absolutely.
will tell you the complete fantasy until they finish, and then it's a whole nother individual.
Powerful.
So, sometimes
I
when
think
hear
that
people,
does
it's-
play a part of it.
Yeah.
Honestly,
You want
because
a man
like
to fuck you because you want him to prove himself.
right, and also it's just like
I
the
mean, mine
whole
fuck you.
associating the feelings when you're having sex and it's transactional.
Yeah.
Like it took a while for me to actually start to have feelings around sex because it was survival and sex was sex. Like I didn't care if you wanted to have sex. That didn't mean I like you because I had sex with you. And most people, it's different. Like they'll have sex like you love me. No, it was just good sex, boo. Like don't get caught up.
You fucked the old body, you ain't fucked the new body. So that's how I see it.
Okay, but well, for me, it's a lot different now.
Yeah.
But back then, it was just I connected with that when you said that because it was very hard for me to connect with someone even if we had sex.
Yeah, I just feel like I'm in a position in my life where I am a sex symbol.
Right.
And if I'm going to lay down with someone, they have to be, it has to be like a really, like, what can you do for me that I can't do for myself?
Talk that
And
shit.
I'm not
energy.
here for the,
Look at
I'm not here for the like, oh, I want to have you because you want to have. It's just like, no, that's not going to work for me. Like, I can't go from getting fucked to like handling huge contracts with big budgets and then feeling emotionally not disconnected from my opportunity because this guy has done me harm or has used me sexually. Like, I want to stay completely present in like my opportunity. And what men do that are toxic, that don't love you or don't understand you or trying to use you to figure out who they are, is they kind of fuck your shit up. And I refuse to let another man come into my life and take me away from the opportunities that I've created for myself. You know what I mean? Like, anybody can have a relationship, but what I'm doing and what we're doing is we're doing something that's never been done before. And if I have to take a path of just being celibate so I can just say, I'm completely satisfied, now we can have that. Like, I don't want to feel like, oh, love is like equally more important than like me changing the world. Like, it's not. You know what I mean? Like, I want to really be present in here. And if you can come here and help me with this, which you are here to do to protect me, not to take from me, then we can start from there and have that conversation. But majority of men in society love them to death, you know what I mean? But a lot of men that I have met, they see a woman that is powerful and they want to like bring you down to be on their level. And I refuse to go that low.
I can only
Realizing
imagine.
your worth, you see that immediately.
Yeah,
you
so-
see the acts, the energy that they're giving, and it's a strict yes, no for me.
They're so used to a lot of the girls too just wanting
Yeah.
love so bad that
I'm
they
good.
just settle and just do like, you know,
I've
they're
seen
like,
too
oh,
many dicks in my life.
Yeah.
I could. Like,
okay.
like
That's the
I'm like,
truth.
it's not
You
really
have
such a-
lived that life.
I
Yes.
don't get turned on. Like, if you
Yes.
stimulate my mind, my body will follow.
Yes.
Period.
I
So,
wrote
like-
them. That's what I'm more so looking forward to.
Yeah. Fuck my
Like
mind.
wanting somebody, like, yeah, you have another part of me,
Mentally
piece of me that I'm like,
engage with
oh
me.
my God,
Yeah.
I want you, let's do this.
And a lot of
Engage.
these new trans women, they become, they trans.
engage with me.
Mentally and
They have it.
Yeah, a lot of these new
They have their
trans.
own show.
I'm talking about the.
Fucking beeping box.
I noticed.
Booping Betty over there. You said a lot of trips.
No, I've noticed a lot of these newer trans women, they start their transition for men approval.
See.
And it's not really their own personal journey. It's like, well,
said that.
I want a particular guy, and like only when I put on a lip and a wig, those guys look at me. It's just like, but really, is that who you are?
I say the
already
same thing. I was saying
know
the same
who
thing.
you
I said
are.
those same things.
I just
That's what the girls be doing it nowadays for.
what we the journey that we have
Trending,
taken.
darling.
Yeah, I just feel like the journey that we have taken is such a sacred journey to figure out who we are from inside out and bring that out. Like, a lot of people are not really for that mentality. They're not really for that experience. They're there for the hype of it and for the camera, but then they take it off. And then they say, I'm gonna go back to this. You know what I mean? But like, I want to fully know that there is a difference, and the difference is very powerful. Like, the pandemic started this new non-binary word. And
Look, you was ready for it.
I was about
Hey,
to.
look,
I was
look,
about to
Angel
get
was waiting for it all night.
I was like, no. I felt like you was getting into the conversation. I was like, okay, she's hitting on the note.
no,
Okay.
I really feel like, first of all, when I grew up, there was androgyny, there was junior femme queen, and there was just like, I'm a feminine boy. You know what I mean? And I just feel like if you said that you wanted to be trans, it was this like life and death. Like, oh my God, are you sure? Like, what are you?
Yes.
You know, you got to go to the doctor. You know, you got to.
challenge that a little.
But let me finish.
Oh,
let me
let her finish.
finish.
What
Let me
she's gonna say
finish.
now.
You know what I mean? I love my non-binary people. I was non-binary at some point, but at some point, at some point, being non-binary, you have to be like, what is the finishing goal? What are you transitioning into if you are trans? And I really feel like, I just really feel like my lifestyle is not a gimmick. My lifestyle is not a game. Like, this is something that I deal with every single day until I die. You know, taking hormones until you die. You know what I mean? To be part of that to constantly sit down with a piece of trade and say, like, this is my situation. Like, you have to really break that down and say, like, this, and this is how you're gonna treat me, and this is the experience I went through. Non-binaries don't have to go through that type of like, that type of experience to some degree. Like, it stops at some point, and it's just like, I just really feel like this is it's a lifestyle.
It is.
It's a lifestyle. It's a full lifestyle.
It's a new life.
So
So basically, you just feel like they shouldn't be under the trans umbrella. Like
I think that we need to celebrate differences and the power of differences.
Yes.
And I really feel like, be that sickening non-binary.
Right.
Fully take up space in that, and like, I commend you for it, because I know what that feels like.
Right.
I know what that feels like to say, like, do I want to be trans, or maybe I'm not trans, and like, now I'm ready to take this pass, and now I'm no longer non-binary. I am just trans.
so in language, because I want to be key.
Yeah,
in
yeah, yeah.
language, right. So for me, like when I hear, I agree to a degree, right?
Yeah.
Especially when it's around topics around care.
Yeah.
And how we access care.
Absolutely.
Because like you said, we take hormones every day until the day that
Yeah.
we die. And when everyone comes inclusive under this umbrella, it's like when my non-binary siblings say, well, I don't need to take that type of therapy for me to be trans, then you're taking away from the experience that we have, because I take hormones. And if that's who you want to be who you want to be. But that doesn't necessarily make you trans. And there's also non-binary people who refuse to identify as trans because they understand that it's a difference, right?
But that's why
now with language, when you go over to the Philippines,
Yeah.
the girls say they're lady boys.
right.
What is that about?
I mean, every country has a different title for it. You know, in Hawaii is mahu. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like in the Native American world, it's two-spirited. You know what I mean? Like we have access to resources, to surgeries, to peels, to do things to our bodies that could change our experiences. Back then, they did not have that. So we live in a time when you have the access to do this or to do that, and the whole point of being trans is to transform into something, to go into transit, to, you know, be, that's what that is about. It's to go from here to there. And I just feel like non-binary is just saying that you are no gender. You are just who you want to be. And I just really feel that like, I feel like it's another gentrification of Black and brown bodies, of queer people and white people
Is
being
it
in our
another
lives.
agenda?
Yes, it is a gentrification. And I really feel like we never fought each other because we come from love. We celebrate love. We have pride. We live pride every single day of the year. You know what I mean? Like when they made that word, then we start fighting with each other. And it's just like, I'm not trying to fight with you. I'm trying to help you be who you want to be. And I feel like a lot of these new non-binary people, they don't have leadership. They don't have mentorship. They see their girlfriend who's struggling just like them and like they playing dress up and they want to play dress up too. Go talk to an elder in the community that you don't have access to. Ask for it, look for it, and then sit down and have them help you figure it out.
What about the conversation that we start to perpetuate the same isms that society forced on us as women? You know what I'm saying? When we start to tell them how they can show up in the world, but people have done that to us, and now we do that to our siblings.
Did
We conform?
No.
Nothing about us is nonconformance.
Gotcha.
We are not.
We're not
We have not
gatekeeping,
conformed to
that's the
society.
problem.
I'm a
No, I
nonconformist.
got no. I understand. I'm just like pushing at certain because I know these conversations will come up.
Yeah.
These questions will be asked. So while we're here, let's have the conversation.
Well, the conversation started last year at the Met Gala. There was no trans women at the Met Gala when the previous year that we had a total of probably 10 trans women there. Last year, there was no trans women at all, and that's why the conversation started. There was only non-binary, and it was only a few of them. There were also no drag queens there. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like we are the ones that are creating the art. We are the ones that are creating the design. We are the ones that are creating the clothes, the makeup, the ideas, the words. Madonna is coming to our homes and employing us to be on her tour. Same thing with Beyonce, love you to death. But at the end of the day, like, we have that power and we're not using it. And we're letting someone else come into our community
So
and
when-
tell us how to do it.
And so when when there's no trans in the room, but
They
the
wanna
non-binary
they wanna
are in
speak
the
for
room,
us.
right? It's like, oh, but we did include y'all because they are looping non-binary in with trans.
And here's the thing.
That's
like,
the problem I'm having.
I forget the name of the book, but when you say Madonna, it's the song Vogue in itself, right? She mentioned Dietrich and DiMaggio, Marlon Brandon. She didn't mention nobody from Ballroom. But she was talking about our culture, and we were like
Yeah.
doing this
Because
like
we want
monogram
access.
of what we do because it gave us access.
Yeah.
And people were actually able to run with it. No shame to no.
Are we
shade
going to say
her.
no to opportunity if we never had opportunity?
Right, so it's no shade to her, but I forget the name of the book, but he said it so eloquently in the book. She could have said Peppa, Ava. She could have named
Angie.
names from our community that would have brought us more further than just them saying Madonna created Vogue or she was the first one that gave it to us because she did not.
I love that
Queen
Beyonce
Latifah
did.
Queen Latifah did. And
Yeah.
Crystal Waters did
Yeah.
with Willie Ninja, but nobody talks about them.
Yeah.
All you hear is about Madonna. Queen Latifah did it. Come into my house, doom, and the kids were voguing in the video.
Yeah.
But they didn't get that.
Yeah, I mean, I think Beyonce, her previous album that was absolutely incredible. She really hired Black and queer and trans
Yes.
entertainers. Shout out to Honey Balenciaga, who completely slayed it. I just really think that we needed to see more of that. And why are we only of relevancy if a woman does it in the industry? You know what I mean? Like, why are we not being picked up? Like, why did they cancel Pose after 3 seasons? Why did they cancel Legendary after everything? You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like we were just getting started. You know what I mean? They gave us a taste, but they was not gonna give us a whole entree.
This is why we need to create our own.
Yeah.
Yeah, fully.
Yeah, well, it's time
I think
for the
this
game.
says, yeah, we need to play the game. We done got so
Let's
deep
play the
in
game.
here.
Yay!
So you know what time it is. This is where we get crazy, we get sexy, and we get cool. This is the Femme Queen Crazy and Sexy Cool Shot Game Hour. And we're about to get messy with the girls. Stay tuned. Game time.
Yes, game time. This has been so dope. Like, I love
Right,
you.
you know the rules of the game.
No, it's gonna so I'm gonna say the rules basically is you if you don't answer the question, you have to take a shot.
Okay.
She's getting ready for the heat.
What is one time you lost in ballroom when you knew you shouldn't have? Okay. Oh yeah, it was that ball, the cover girl, with the white t-shirt and blue jeans.
Oh, well, you brought us to the con.
Yeah,
To the-
I really felt like I didn't have that I didn't have a lot of makeup on that day, and it says cover girl. When you think of cover girl, you think of like, you know, a beautiful girl wearing light makeup, and that's what cover girl's brand is like very minimal makeup, easy breezy cover girl. And I just felt like she was completely like snatched like a drag queen, and I really felt like, you know, she was beautiful, but like, where is she now?
That was,
Where is she now?
That was Tiffany's
The cover
daughter.
girl is right here.
This is what we say it. This is why we say it. This is why we talk about
Also,
it.
another
This is what we
girl,
talk about.
another girl
To the scene.
in Atlanta, when I came out in the pool, another cis girl, she had like a tutu on, and her hair was just like really not giving femme queen face, like giving any type of face vibes. Her outfit was just very bare minimum. And I just feel like, I love my cis girls. I love y'all to death. Like, but this was created by trans women for trans women. And I feel like once you start letting a lot of people into this space, you have to be honorable of like the trans women. And I feel like a lot of cis women don't do it. When I go into spaces in the world where I'm around other cis women, like Sports Illustrated, which is all cis women, I always go and I give them their flowers about thank you for, you know, being a representation that I wanted to see, that I could be, that I am now. And I just feel like a lot of the cis girls worldwide, I seen it. I see them come out and they just like, you should be lucky that you get to compete against me. This is my space. This is my home. You can go out in the world and you can go anywhere. But here, this is my home. This is my safe space. And I just really feel like I've lost 2 times to a cis woman that was giving me like, if you showed up to a casting or to a job, you would not get any life. But since like I'm me and you trying to humble me, you got over me. And I just really feel like I didn't see it for them girls. And like I said, where are you now?
Shout out to my sister Lolita. She's a cis woman in the scene. That is
Oh,
so
she does the
beautiful.
work.
She's there.
She does the work, and she's also one of the cast members. I didn't get a chance to actually like sit down and have a conversation with her, and I don't know, it was awkward a few times, but I see that she is really doing the work. Her and Roxy Mugler, they are out there like really knowing where they stand with Ballroom, and know that we are in front and we can stand beside each other. But like I think you need to really understand like the power of us and be revered by us. What is your secret fetish and who would you like to experience it with? I've honestly, when I was a kid, I've always wanted to be an astronaut. Shouts out to NASA and shout out to Elon Musk, you know, SpaceX. I've always wanted to know what it felt like to have sex in space. So that is a fetish of mine. I don't know if I'll ever get there, but like, imagine going to Mars and having the first orgasm on Mars. I think that would be like, I think that would just be so everything. Like, do people have sex in space? Have they had sex in space? Like, let's talk about it. Like, yeah, I think that's a fetish of mine. Why did you leave Mugler the first time?
She already told us, so.
You want me to go in depth?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, so there was a girl in the house. There was two girls in the house who I don't even remember their names because they're non-motherfucking factors. But
Bitch.
non-motherfucking factors again.
We're gonna have a lot of clickbait on it.
They were non-motherfucking factors. I get myself ready for a ball. I have a vision board. I put a budget together. I contact the leaders in the space, and I say, this is what I want to execute. This is how I want to be done. When I did the pool, when I did the bath scene, that was my vision. That's what I sent them, and I said, can you make this happen? There was two girls in the house that felt like they wasn't getting the same treatment as me, and they said like, oh, you get her together, y'all give so much attention to her, da 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 da. It's just like, look, Leyna meets us halfway. She goes 50-50 with us. Matter of fact, she does 90-10 with the whole experience. And I should not have fought with them or argued with them or had issues with them, but they were threatening to cut my face, to scratch me, to hurt me. And I should not even had an argument with them. I should have had an argument with the leaders of the space to allow that, to even happen, to even let those type of people into the house, to not even respect the people that are here. You know what I mean? And I just also feel like there was an incident where one of the girls was like, oh, when I first saw her, she didn't give me like my life. It's just like, look, when I see Carmen, when I see Tracy Africa, when I saw Tanae, when I saw Ejanae, I walked up to them and I said, thank you for doing what you had to do. Mm-hmm. Thank you for being the vision of love.
It should be loving.
Thank you.
People, these strangers,
and I just really feel like we live in a generation where no one wants to come up and respect the yellow brick road that we paid for them. And you are now easing on down that motherfucking road. And I had to put it down for you. And I just feel like if you really look up to me, if you really see me as a vision or you're inspired by anything I do, then just speak on it. Don't expect me to come up to you and hug on you and kiss on you, da 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 da. Like, this has to be, I think you said this in the past, it has to be energy. It has to be like something that is cosmic to pull you together. Like when I first saw you, when I got that award with Lee, like it was a cosmic connection. I came up to you and I said, your speech was incredible. What you said was incredible. It was a mutual understanding about how we see each other.
And we manifested this.
Exactly. You told me that you was creating something and you would love to talk to me about it. And look where we're at right now. You know what I mean?
We manifested this.
Yeah. I just feel like this new generation, they don't respect the people that come before them because they don't know the history. We grew up on VHS tapes. If you wasn't there, then you missed it out and you had to purchase a VHS. It took 3 months to arrive. That's how I learned about Face. That's how I learned about Ballroom. You can just click Ballroom and then click to the next thing on YouTube and actually really sit down and watch it. One of my brothers / sister, I was hanging out with her and I was showing her like, no one ever sat down and showed you tapes from like your category from like 10, 20 years ago. And he was like, no. And I was like, well, let me show you. Let me show you the shoulders that you're standing on. And I just feel like when you don't have real leaders in this space, you will have this drama, this issues, this fighting with each other, this like non-binary against trans women. You will have issues with violence. You will have issues with drugs. You will have issues with people trying to have power when they didn't work hard for it. You can't offer someone a crown if they didn't work hard for it. You got to work hard for this. And we come from an era when we had to wait our turn and work. And when I first started modeling, for the first 5 years, they said no to me, but I kept coming back.
I'm glad you did.
Those no's was feeding me to get where the fuck I want to be. And we have two more. We have one more left. And I'm just going to do the one for good luck. 4 is my lucky number. What girl in the Ballroom would you like to battle? Any bitch that want it. Let's go.
Any bitch
Okay,
want it.
well, that was easy.
Any bitch can get it.
Tempress, you want it? I'll be over battle with you.
They live for that.
Any bitch can get it. Like, no shade.
Don't have with my mommy.
Like, I miss when Ballroom was a battle. I miss when it was a battle, when you started from the back and you took your time. Like, right now, they rush it so much Like, I want to get into like us loving each other, but still battling at the same time. Like, I felt like me and Lola didn't really get a chance to battle. It was so much like, all right, who you gonna vote for? You know what I mean? Like, I want to actually like battle you, bitch. Like, I want to actually like give you what you came here to get, bitch, which is an ass whooping. And I just really felt like that part of Ballroom, that part of like when you arrive on the stage and MC Deborah, it says the bitch is here. Like, it's just, it's not the same.
It's not.
It's not the same.
Wow.
And Paris is nice. And the
You
Philippines
been
is
to
nice.
a couple of balls?
Yeah. And in the Philippines,
They
is
give
cute.
it.
We're gonna go to
And Costa
Paris.
Rica is cute, but like in America, it's too much white money in Ballroom right now. And it's just like, we need to get, yeah, like we,
Yo, what?
say it on the mic.
So they got them acting like crackheads.
That's a shame.
Asia is a key.
That's how they tear us down. That's how they tear us down. Is we're so blinded by the opportunity, and we're so blinded by what we want and what we want for ourselves that we forget that this was built on community. This was built on survival. This was built on brotherhood and sisterhood and mother and father and mentorship. And that essence of Ballroom is so desperately missing. And anybody that can have an iPhone that can put a filter on it can be famous overnight. And it's just honestly like when I first got into the scene, they told me about you and they told me that you was the songbird. Like, you can sing. Like, I want to hear you sing on here and like have your moment. And that's why I'm so happy for you, like doing Cats. And I want to see more stuff happen for you. You know what I mean? Because you are such a voice.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not many of us out there, and and I just really want to see all of us, if we are there, to just all win.
Oh my God, this has been amazing. Like, this is really, really good. I'm so glad that you came and you sat and talked with us. This was like, I'm so happy for you and everything that you have accomplished. And I can't wait to see what's more to come in the future and see you continue to soar. And I love the fact that you carry the community on your back when you go in these spaces. And I just thank you so much.
Thank you
for sitting here with us. It's been great.
It was dope that you came and sat on this couch. I definitely think you did your big one today. You spoke and you spoke very well. So.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, you know how I feel. So
Yes,
we don't
I
need
do.
just thank you for coming. I think it's great. This was a great way to start the season off. And I'm just happy that you came. And the miscommunications, the back and forth, and that's what I mean about us making the sacrifice to see it to the end. So thank you for coming.
I just wanted to have fun.
So we did.
I just wanna have
Thank you
fun.
for waiting because we was on Femme Queen time again today.
It's fine.
No, but just thank you. I had fun. I enjoyed you. Like,
No, I mean, what you guys are doing is so powerful to, understand that there's voices and experiences that need to be heard and listened to. And only an icon and a legend and a bitch that has been through some shit can only fucking do that. And I just want y'all to continue having so much success and so much opportunity. I know we spoke on the phone about you in school, and I was like, you should do journalism. You know what I mean?
You did say that.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it. I'm really thinking about political science.
So
but
think about things that have not been tapped into and what we can do.
they actually don't have a lane for us, and I think that that's good. We have directors, we have producers. I think I do want to try my hand at journalism, but thank you.
Of course.
I'm going to consider that. I definitely can see where there's an opportunity for that.
Yeah.
To control how stories come out about us. Thank you.
Of course.
And those boots are making me want to see you like take us out with a rodeo style dance. Or
Right.
This ain't Texas. Woo!
Well, we thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Femme Queen Crazy Sexy Cool.
Yay! That's a wrap. Hit the button.